Stu, what part of the country are you in?
I'm upstate New York, so Sean, I believe, is in Florida,
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys
down
are on the
south.
same time zone. I was just checking time zones.
Sean, I believe, is in Florida.
I'm in San Diego, California.
Oh, geez, he's a West Coaster.
Yippers.
Where are you at, Mormont? I forgot. I thought you told me, but I forget.
Upstate New York.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
It helps if I turn my microphone back down. I've been
I'll just go.
stuffing my mic before we started.
Yeah, no worries, brother.
I'm in the middle of everything. I'm in Northwest Arkansas.
Oh, dude, man, you are like almost smack dab in the middle of the U.S. You up there in the swamps?
Yeah, I consider us the geographical center. I don't care what Oklahoma says.
You out there with the Clintons and everybody.
I'm an Air Force brat. I was on Little Rock, Arkansas there for a bit.
I live in New York now.
Oh, right.
Yep, I'm familiar with Little Rock. I'm a Marine Corps brat myself.
That's the first time I ever saw quicksand.
It's funny they call it quicksand because it takes so long for you to get through it.
Yeah, because it's a slow death, really.
Yeah, it is.
There are lots of little critters in Arkansas that like to kill you.
Nope.
Mostly hillbillies and meth heads.
That was my experience in the Okefenokee swamp of Georgia. That's where the hillbillies really were. I barely made it out of that alive.
Hey, I'm AFK for just a minute. I'm gonna check on my chicken and grab something to drink.
Roger that. Aye, 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 aye. Do-do-do-do. Well, it sounded like everybody came through. I think we're good. Everybody came through. I think we're good. Everybody came through. I think we're good. Yeah, how many people actually joined the stream tonight? Because I didn't really announce it. How many people actually joined the stream tonight? Because I didn't really announce it. How many people actually joined the stream tonight? Because I didn't really.
He was using the browser, which requires focus on that. So I asked him to download the app itself.
Oh. You're so smart. You're so smart.
That's worth. I'm not computer illiterate. I'm just
Computer savvy. All right. I think it's time to go. Let's kick this crap off. Otherwise, we'll never get out of here.
He's just switching over to.
Yeah, no worries. He's back.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. I don't know. You could be a ventriloquist. I'm not buying it yet. We'll see. If John rolls good and you roll bad, then we know.
Probably the other way around.
What was your cantrips mod at?
I will. We're going to go through that real quick, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. But that's probably one of the first things I want to cover.
No, I can't hear him. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Thank you, Jamie.
Let's see if this works. Is it going to work? As I push the button, and it changes the channel, and we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of Agora Quest, our first session of the new campaign. Appreciate you guys coming to hang out with us on this Friday night. I know there's a lot of places you could be, but we know there's no place else you would rather be than hanging out with us, having a good time, learning how to play Dungeons and Dragons, because that's what we're doing. I have no idea how to play, really, 5th edition, but that's why I brought in all the expert 5th edition players to teach me how to play. If you're new here, welcome. Old hands, welcome back. Don't forget, as you watch the stream, you earn tokens, just like any other stream you watch on Twitch. Your favorite content providers out there, you earn free old tokens. The more you interact, the more tokens, etc., etc. But here, on this channel, we know how crappy electronic dice are, so we try to smooth the way a little bit for our players. So you can trade your tokens in for natural ones and or natural 20s. And you can donate them to the favorite player, or I, your humble DM, will never turn away a free gift from you. But you trade those tokens in, give them a nat 1 or a nat 20. What does that mean? That means that if a player rolls crappy, they can swap out the dice roll with that nat 20 if they got it. Or if they want to use a nat 1 for whatever reason, they can too. That usually comes in handy if the DM hits you with a crit and you have a nat 1 on hand. You can replace the DM's dice roll with that nat 1. And ergo, no more crit. So yeah, those are definitely handy, especially when you're fighting big bads and you're rolling like crap, because electronic dice hate all of us. And you can just every once in a while swap out a good dice roll and at least get one hit in before the TPK goes down. So I encourage you to get those in early and often, because they are only good for the stream that you donate them. They don't carry over from stream to stream unless, as many people know, I do have extenuating circumstances. Like somebody decides to drop a nat 20 30 seconds before the stream's over. The player doesn't have a chance to use it, so I'll let it carry over. But for the most part, they do not carry over. So as I said, get them in early and often. If you want to help support the stream in some way, because as I have been saying for the past 4-ish years, every penny that you donate goes back into the stream in some way, shape, or form, whether it's content, hosting services, a brand new stream deck, whatever, it goes right back into the stream. And so we definitely appreciate that. But to that point, for every 200 bits that you cheer, you can buy an advantage for the favorite player or DM. And what does that mean? Everybody knows what inspiration is. This is essentially kind of the same thing. The difference is that if over a period of time you have aggregated 10 advantages, that means if you fail your dice roll, you can roll again. If you fail it again, you can roll as many advantages as you have on hand. You can use every one of them until you finally get a successful dice roll. If it's that important that you want to use every single one of them to get that dice roll, you can. And so, as I said, for every 200 bits you cheer, tell us who it's for. If you can't pick somebody, we'll have a dice off, and the highest roller will get that. And those do carry over from stream to stream, because if you're going to spend your hard-earned coin to help keep us afloat, well, by golly, we're going to let them keep it forever and ever. Amen. And just because I'm a nice guy, because I am a player's DM. You've heard of players coaches? I'm a player's DM. Just for you guys, everybody's starting this campaign with one advantage. All right. So I will keep track of those, or you can keep track of your own, but just remember I keep track of them as well. So if you don't know how many you got, or if you forget about it, just ask me, and I'll keep the numbers on hand. So, but everybody starts a campaign off with one. So regardless if you have inspiration or some other thing that gives you an ability or whatever, this right here is just one more bullet in your arsenal of ammunition that you can use. What else? Of course, we always talk about, you can always subscribe to the channel. That's always appreciated. But I also like to remind you that we do have a tip jar. I believe tip jars are the way to go, because Twitch takes half of everything that you guys subscribe. And as great as that is, a lot of people don't like to remember that they have a subscription. And then suddenly next month it comes around and Twitch will automatically bill you. And then you get mad at us. Like, we didn't do nothing, and you subscribed the first time, and we definitely appreciate that. But if you don't like to manage that stuff, and the channel's got a tip jar, use that, because they get the money directly. There's a small processing fee that the credit card companies take out of it, but it's not like 50%. As I've said before, I had somebody donated a $250 tip to our channel so I could get a brand new Stream Deck. It was like a $2 or $3 service fee or whatever PayPal took out of it. It was amazing. I'm like, yes. Let's go that route. Let's keep that tip jar up there. So we definitely appreciate subscriptions. We will never turn them down. But just not even for us, for any content provider that you really appreciate out there, if they've got a tip jar, I would definitely recommend using that. And if they don't have a tip jar, you need to tell them to get a tip jar. So that's just my 2 cents. And of course, last but not least, if you like Greyhawk, like we all love Greyhawk, all of our games, at least that I run, are in the world of Greyhawk. Check out the Greyhawk Creatives team page. That's twitch.tv/team/Greyhawk Creatives, plural. Go check it out. There's 20 or so different content providers that Jay has put together. Jay being Lord Kazumba, the patriarch of the Greyhawk content providers. He created that family channel for us, and we all sit under that umbrella and kind of point everybody to different content providers under that umbrella. So I want to encourage you to go check it out. And that's a lot of stuff I've said, a lot of places you can see, and a lot of things you can do. But the best way, right here in the chat, !socials with S. !socials will show all of our places you can go, whether it's YouTube, X, our Discord, you name it, it's there. I encourage you, go check it all out. Especially if you like our D&D content at all. I know we're not like a big, huge channel. We have some good times. We have a lot of good streams out there. 3 different campaigns. We've got the old original Perrinland Adventures, which then turned into Heroes of Christchurch. Halfway through the 3/4, well, not 3/4, but halfway through the campaign, we decided to change it to Heroes of Christchurch. And then, of course, our 1E one-shots, that was a pretty fun one. That's the one that ran from the beginning till 4 years. And Heroes just ended not too long ago. And then back in September, when we ended 1E one-shots, we started our new first edition campaign, which is the Age of Worms. So we've been going pretty good on that one. Been a great time. But now we're starting anew. We're starting fresh. Welcome all of our new players here to, as I said, our Savage Tide campaign. And the last snooze. I got ads coming in. I keep snoozing it, but I talk so much. So players, want to welcome you guys. Appreciate you guys coming back for, this is a little bit of housekeeping. We had a player about an hour into the stream last week, just dropped. Haven't heard from him since. No idea if he's okay. Never responded to any of my DMs. Unfortunately, we had to remove Jordix, our bard, from the campaign. Want to welcome Mormut, our brand new Sticky Fingers guy. We definitely appreciate, Stu, you doing a quick turnaround on character creation. Great concept. I think it's going to be a good fit for the team. But I want to do a couple of things to, first of all, we're going to go back over a little bit on some of the house rules. I know that we talked about them last week, but one of the things is like I said, Marmot wasn't really here, and I want to go through them just really quick, and we'll probably, I'll do a cursory of them. Where am I? Let's see. D&D, Foundry, Savage Time. Sorry, I thought I had it sitting here ready to be open, but no, I'm an idiot and I don't. So we'll go game notes and house rules. So we'll probably, just as a refresh to go, because some of these are even new to me as far as using them, and I don't want to forget about them. Big thing is we talk about rest. You can't go back to back rest, so you can't go into combat, take a short rest, get all your shit back. Go into combat, take a short rest, especially you, Warlock. I'm looking at you. Get a short rest to get all your shit back, right? It doesn't work that way. It has to be at least 4 hours between a rest before you can gain the benefits of a long or short rest. I don't think that's really that big of a deal. I think I'm just trying to make it a little less, I don't know, wishy-washy. I want it a little more believable, I guess, if that's if that can make sense. The other thing is treating wounds. I do allow whenever you heal or get healing, you can get your Constitution bonus as a modifier to add on to that healing that comes back. But there are certain requirements, like it has to be use a healer's kit with a medicine check if you're proficient in the medicine, or if you're proficient in medicine check. The DC for being able to do that lowers. A couple other little things in there, but just take a look at that just so you know that you are able to, and usually we have to do that manually because the system doesn't account for that. But yeah, so just make sure that you recall that whenever you heal, now that's not magical healing. That's normal healing, short rest, long rest, shit like that. Being critically injured, once you get to 10% of your hit points, rounded upward. So if you got 22 hit points, it rounds up to 3. When you reach that level, you immediately have to, first of all, you take a level of exhaustion, but then you have to make a Constitution saving throw. If you fail that, you take an additional level of exhaustion. And then additionally, if you hit 0 hit points or whatever, if you get to certain levels, it's like immediate exhaustion, and then you have to make a con save to take additional exhaustion. And essentially what happens, and it kind of plays into the fact if you were to have 3 death saves, if you go to 0 hit points and you fail your con check, then you'll have 3 levels of exhaustion, right? Right there, boom. And then each death save is another level of exhaustion, and then so that means 3 death saves, you're dead anyway, but 6 levels of exhaustion, you die as well. So just be aware that when you get down to those, that you will be getting tagged with levels of exhaustion. New thing that I'm using, I've never tried this before. I thought it was pretty interesting. It's called Sundered Shields. As a reaction, you can use your shield to deflect all of the damage done by somebody for that one attack at the expense of your shield being destroyed. Magical shields get additional times to do that. So a +1 shield, you could do that and take all the damage, and then becomes no longer a +1 shield. It's a regular shield, and a second time would destroy that shield. As long as the shield isn't completely destroyed, it can be reworked, kind of like your long rest type of stuff. But you got to have the right tinker tools, and you have to be proficient in repairs and stuff like that in order to do that. But bottom line is, Sundered Shield is kind of a cool thing. I think it's sort of sacrificing your shield to stay alive. So for those of you that are a little squishy that have a shield, it's just something to think about. Healing potions. If you use a bonus action to quaff a healing potion, you have to roll to see how many hit points you get. But if you use a full action for taking a healing potion, you get maximum effects. So there is no roll. It's just like max damage, like it's a max heal, right? So whatever that does, you get that ability. Skill checks, group checks, things like that. If you want to help somebody use the help action, you have to be proficient in the skill that you are helping with. So if you're helping somebody investigate, you have to be proficient in investigation in order for them to do that. If you're not proficient with investigation, you can use another skill, but you have to sort of describe for me and explain to me why the skill you want to use would be beneficial just as much as if you were proficient in the skill you're trying to help in. So if you're trying to help in persuasion or religion or whatever, you have to be proficient in that skill, or show me a reason some other skill will work just as well. The big one, cantrips, we'll talk about that in a second. Kyle, it looks like you have, when you roll your dice down there, you need to make sure you click the little globe for public roll. Otherwise, it'll show up as a private roll and nobody can see it but you. Cantrips, we're going to circle back to this in a second, but as I explained last session, cantrips are not unlimited. You get a number of cantrips per short or long rest as your spell casting ability score. So if your ability score is an 18, that means you get 18 cantrips. And you can trade those cantrips in for leveled spells at a certain cost. Right now it's set 3-1, but I want to talk about that really quick. Light, if you have dark vision or night vision or devil's sight or whatever the case may be, light around you can affect that, right? So just be aware that if somebody lights a torch, your ability to see in the dark is going to be affected because of that light affecting you. Some of the 2024 rules I put down that I don't use. I don't give inspiration to humans or whatever just because it took a long rest. The weapon mastery stuff I'm going to go with. The only one that I am adamant about not going with is automatic damage, like the Nick. I don't do automatic damage if you miss, right? So, I missed, but I still get to do X number of hit points based on my strength, 1 hit point or whatever plus my strength. No, I don't do that. So some of the other mastery ones I can definitely see the argument for, but to me a miss is a miss. A miss is because otherwise you can miss every time and you just whittle them down anyway. And that just does not make sense to me. I don't get it, but yeah. So I will give like the circle magic a try. I will give some of these weapon mastery things a try. Some of the things, like I said, I'm on the fence. I'm old school grognard, so I think you guys should be squishy and get stepped on really easy, but I understand some of the rules and the concepts behind it. So, last but not least, as a DM, I reserve the right to change my mind on anything, and you guys can't argue with me about it. So, just putting that out there. Any questions about some of the house rules before we step into what I really want to talk about? If you are, sorry, go ahead. You had a question?
I was just saying I took off the circle because I have no idea what the hell that is.
So circle magic, what that does is, let's say you have a concentration spell. You can, under certain circumstances, cast a spell as circle magic as long as you have another wizard or magic ability person in your group. And you can share the concentration. So if you get hit and you fail your con and the concentration for you is broken, somebody else in the circle can pick up the concentration so the spell stays in effect. So that's basically what circle magic is. There's probably more to it than that. I haven't read in depth on a lot of the new 2024 stuff. People just kind of throw stuff at me and I learn as I go. You know what I mean? I mean, if I see it and you can convince me of it, that's fine. If not, we'll judge it then. But yeah. So I'll give them a try. I haven't really played with some of this stuff in my campaigns, but we'll check it out. So the one thing I wanted to bring up for everybody, everybody can bring up their character sheet, please, if you don't mind. I've got Elderbrock's up here on the VTT, but I don't have access to his whole sheet, so he's going to have to do stuff. So one of the things that I wanted to do is I really, in my last campaigns, I have this cantrip rule where you don't have unlimited cantrips. And I know that Cora, who played Nilo in my last campaign, he came up with a creative way, and all he did was created an item, and he called he called it something, whatever, to control his cantrips. He had another item that was the blessings of the Nat 1 and the blessings of the Nat 20, right? And he would just add like ammunition, how many he had, so he could keep track of them that way. And that's fine if you want to do that for Nat 1s and Nat 20s, but it's not required because I track them for you. But he liked to have them on a sheet. But it is a custom item that you would have to put in and import and export. So I wanted to give you guys a way to track cantrips and be able to trade things in and give some other cool sort of things that were available. So what I'm going to do is really quick here, I'm going to give myself ownership of Edelbrock here. So I built a custom module for Foundry, and I just re-imported everybody's characters. So when I first import you, it's not there. So I want everybody to give themselves a long rest, if you don't mind. That way we make sure everybody is up to speed and everything is there. But go ahead and give yourself a long rest. Once you give yourself a long... why does it... That's interesting. Why is it showing 0 cantrips for you? I'm going to feel bad. Why is... All right. Does everybody show 0? Because I'm going to feel bad.
Yeah, mine shows 0.
All right.
Mine.
All right. So I am going to have to set them for you guys, which is fine. I don't know why. It should have set it at your... And I tested these yesterday, too. It's weird how demos do that. So I will set your cantrips for you. And for tonight, if they have to be reset to the max, if it doesn't reset for you, then I will make sure that they get reset. Mormont, you don't get them, so it doesn't affect you. So if you see, it says cantrip uses. If you click on the icon next to cantrip uses, it'll pop open a window. Right? And right now it'll say available, however many you got. And it should say no spell slots currently can currently be restored, right? So what I want you to do, if you would, if you go to your spells and click on your spell page, just go to one of your spell slots. You don't have to cast a spell. Just click one of the spell slots to remove that slot and watch what happens to your cantrip thingy.
Okay.
If you look, once it becomes, once you see that glow sort of come around your character or that the cantrip uses, that means that, hey, you can trade cantrips for a spell slot. So once you see that glow, if you click on your cantrip uses, you will see it says restore a slot, and this is the cost, right? And so if you click that restore, it will restore your slot and deduct the proper number of cantrips. Oh, it didn't deduct either. Man, there's a bug in my program and I just got it set. Anyway, at least hopefully we can keep track of them this way. I literally just tested all this last night and it was working fine. I don't know what happened. I uploaded it and for some, yeah. Oh well. I'm not going to worry about that right now. The other thing that you can do is on your character sheet in the upper left-hand corner, you see the edit button. If you click edit and then go back down by the cantrips, to the right of the numbers, you'll see a little color palette. And if you click that color palette, it'll pop open the color palette. You can actually, so what'll happen is once your cantrips get down to 50%, you'll get a yellow glow, or the number will turn yellow if you don't have any to trade in. And once they get down to 25%, it'll turn red. Well, if you don't like those colors, this just allows you a way to choose the color that you want to show if you're getting low or whatever. And you can change the threshold. So you can set the threshold to 75% and 50% or whatever you want to do. Just gave you guys a little bit of flexibility there to do that. But I am going to test. I'm going to cast a cantrip and see if it does anything for... Yep, so at least the deduction happens. So if you click on casting cantrip, you'll see that it automatically deducts the use for you. I don't know what the bug is on resetting and stuff, but I'll fix that tonight after the game. But I just wanted a way so you guys could track your own cantrips without having to create some sort of a item or whatever the case may be. And yeah, I'm kind of disappointed because I had it all working and testing. I must have pushed an update or something and didn't test the last update, but that's okay. But that is now, so like I said, whenever I import from D&D Beyond, it'll overwrite that sheet. But as soon as you take a long or short rest, it'll reset everything for you. So if you have any questions about how to do the cantrip stuff, just ask me. If you're going to trade right now tonight, if for some reason you wind up trading your cantrips for a spell slot, I'm going to have to deduct the number for you because it looks like my math is not mathing, and I got to figure out why it's doing that. So,
Question on your buying: how does that work with my pack magic?
as far as what?
My pack magic levels up as I level up, so I'll be casting like second level spells on
Yep.
all my spells.
Yep. So I actually did a full blown regression analysis on how many trade-ins that the average warlock would do as compared to wizards and all that stuff, because yours does trade in, but you always trade in at the highest level as compared to a wizard who might be able to trade in based on first, second, and third level, right? And it actually is fairly even until you get to about 7th or 8th level. And then it becomes a little more. But I have a way where I can configure that it costs less cantrips for you to trade in a spell slot, so you can get more conversions, but they're still going to be obviously at that same level, right? So right now everybody's 3-1. Once you go up around 7th level or so, and you can only do like 1 conversion while everybody else is getting 2 or 3 conversions, I can lower yours down to say 2 per level, and then you can at least get that same that everybody else is getting. But we'll kind of cross that bridge when it gets there. But it is definitely something that I was looking at, because I was like, yeah, it just seems to me that, you only at 6th level you only get 1 trade in, and if you've cast any cantrips, you can't even do that. So yeah, I've definitely kind of thought about that and have something in mind. But like I said, we can always address that when we come to it. So good question, though. Appreciate that. All right. Any other questions about how that will work? Like I said, I just want to kind of help you guys where you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Cool. All right. So if there are no other questions, I would like to at least attempt to get us into tonight's episode of Savage Tide, our very first one. Let me see if I can get our music going here. I had it turned off for a little while, but all right. Got that set. I'm gonna make sure I got the campaign guide open. Yeah, I was thrown for a loop here. All right. So I want to I'm probably just gonna reiterate a little bit of what I did for last week. Right toward the end, I want to make sure that I got the right. Yep. So essentially, I just want to kind of read the intro again for those that may have missed it from last time, and that way it'll kind of kick us off right into. It'll kick us right off into the campaign proper. All right. It is the last days of Growfest, common year 596, with the sultry breath of low summer beginning to settle over the port town of Sasserine. The tropical sun claws through scattered clouds, baking the whitewashed walls and crimson-tiled rooftops until they shimmer, while humid gusts from Jacklea Bay to the north carry a sharp tang of salt and kelp, mingled with the cloying perfume of jungle orchids spilling over the endless Amedio wilds to the south, east, and west. A brief morning squall has drenched the streets of the city, leaving slick cobblestones that stream underfoot with puddles in the shades of palm-thatched awnings, distant thunder grumbling over the verdant canopy of the jungle like a god's own bellyache, promising monsoon season's full fury in the weeks to come. The city harbor groans with life, creaking rigging, shouting stevedores, heaving spice crates, gulls wheeling up and over and about the bobbing galleons anchored there. But Sassarine's pulse quickens with a hard-won edge, forged in the fire of last year's cataclysm, which has come to be known as the Age of Worms. It began with the whispers of the Ebon Triad, a demonic cult worshipping Erythnal the Many, Vecna, the Whispered One, and Hexdor, the Herald of Hell, whose rituals tore open fissures all across the Flannis, unleashing plagues of writhing undead worm spawn. These segmented green horrors burrowed into the living, twisting their flesh into undead abominations, while legions of zombies and worse shambled from the grave. As epic heroes clashed with the worm god itself in distant dark caverns, Sassarine fell under siege. Worm-infested hordes poured through the shattered wards, choking the streets in ichor and decay. U5, blood brothers forged in Sassarine's twisting alleys and mist-choked mangroves, stood as the last unyielding wall against that tide. The hulking hobgoblin warlock hurling his crackling eldritch bolts that seared through the writhing spawn. The dwarf cleric roaring divine fury while hammering foes with a glowing warhammer that rang like struck iron. The human warrior wizard dancing between slashes and arcane bursts as the holy warrior's radiant blade cleaved undead in sweeping arcs of holy fire. And the shrouded goblin rogue darting from shadow to shadow, his linen-wrapped form a blur of silent steel, knives flashing to sever tendrils, pockets emptied of pilfered alchemical fire hurled into the heart of chitinous clusters, every strike precise and opportunistic. Through the Wormfall's raging peak, as Cauldron's distant heroes thundered north to shore up your fractured barricades, you plunged into the maelstrom. Boulevards ran slick with phosphorescent slime underfoot, the air thick with wet gurgles and ripping flesh of the infested as you hauled screaming citizens from collapsed doorway, parried lashing tendrils that sprayed venomous ichor and shattered chitinous horrors with blade, spell, hammer, and the rogues' flashing knives. Even Varric Vanderborn, shipping magnate of iron will, dangled helpless in a spawn's barbed maw until you stormed in. The hobgoblin's blast scorching its hide while the cleric's hammer cracked its skull and the paladin severed a tendril in a burst of light. All while the shrouded goblin danced behind the thing, stabbing it with his deadly knives, and together you yanked the merchant free as the creature exploded in a reeking geyser of rot. The man's wide, grateful eyes meeting yours through the swirling carnage as you all staggered to safety. But the chaos did not just scar the city. It shattered its chains. The century of foreign tyrants' corrupt rule crumbled under the onslaught. Nobles seized the breach, purged overseers, and smashed the iron grip of long-entrenched, oppressive guilds. In the power vacuum now, dozens of upstart crews knife for the underworld scraps. None bolder than those that call themselves the Lotus Dragons, their tattooed enforcers weaving lotus ink webs into noble halls and rigged votes, poised to crown themselves kings of the shadows. Now, more than a year after the Wormfall event, evening settles here over the merchant district, casting in it in a bruised and muted purples as you take your seat in a corner booth at the Rusty Pirate. The tavern is filled with the scent of pipe smoke, spilt alcohol, and the salty air brought in by privateers. Parrot squawks pierce the roar of dice games and bawdy shanties. A half-orc barkeep slams tankards of frothy dark ale before you, foam sloshing like sea surge, while peg-leg sailors swap yarns of ghost ships and lost treasures. Your pouches jingle with honest coin, mostly, from recent hauls, your blades polished sharply, your moods now buoyant on victory's afterglow. Then, as you bask in good company of friends and familiar places, a wizened and elegantly dressed halfling woman moves through the crush of bodies, nonchalantly dodging a tankard that was half-heartedly tossed across the room at targets unknown. She thrusts a wax-sealed parchment into your grasp, a crisp vellum scented with jasmine and blazoned with the Vanderborn swan. A woman's hand, elegant, precise, has scribed the following message, the scrawl of it indicating that it was done in haste. Heroes of the Wormfall, I send you my warmest greetings, trusting this epistle finds you in excellent health. Though we are as yet unacquainted, my family remains eternally grateful for you to the preservation of our lives. I find myself confronted by a most pressing affair, one for which I am convinced your singular talents are supremely suited. I entreat you to attend upon me discreetly at our estate tomorrow evening at the intersection of Festival Street and Blue Skink Lane in the Merchant District. Time, alas, weighs heavily upon us. Pray, convey your response forthwith to the bearer of this letter. I anticipate our appointment with keenest interest. Yours, in hopeful anticipation, Lavinia Vanderborn. The words hang in the smoky air like a drawn cutlass, glinting both promise and peril. Do the noble webs of Sassarine begin to unravel once more? Threads pulled taut by unseen hands, or do city elders, scarred by the Wormfall and ever watchful, find themselves in need again of those bold enough to stand against horrors that crawl from shadow and sea? The Vanderborns, everybody knows, are no mere merchants. Their ships slice waves to distant shores, laden with spices, silks, and whispers from lands beyond the horizon. Could this urgent summons mean the azure sea itself beckons? Salt spray stinging your faces, storms howling across the decks with islands of forgotten ruin rising amongst them from the mist? The tavern's din fades to a distant roar as your eyes meet each other across this scarred table. A thrill stirs in your blood, the same electric rush that carried you through the ichor slick streets last year. Whatever Lavinia's need, it promises more than coin or glory. High-stakes intrigue in gilded halls, blades flashing under tropical moons, and adventures vast and as deep as the ocean's blackest trenches, waiting only for you to answer the call. Here, in the bruised purple dusk of the Merchant District, the path forks. Will you step into the unknown tomorrow eve, or let the letter's fire cool on this table? The choice, my friends, is yours, and the world itself holds its breath, awaiting your reply. And as you look up, you can see the halfling that delivered this letter looking at you with, dare I say, disinterested eyes, dispassionate eyes, as if she is not wanting to be there, but only being there at behest of whomever it was that told her. She awaits your reply.
Oh, it beats sitting here drinking all day with two goblinoids.
Agreed.
Oh. She just, again, she's looking and essentially she is just waiting for. So do you speak for everybody then? Shall I tell my mistress that she can expect your. Okay, there he is. He's back.
All that wish to attend say aye.
Aye.
I don't waste
Three
my
ayes.
talking to half people.
Gage is an aye.
Arment will
There we
point
go.
to his eye.
Well, 3 outbeat 5, so let's go.
As she sort of rolls her eyes and comments as she leaves, I assume that you know how to get there? Or am I going to have to draw you a map as well?
We've been
We'll
around
take the map.
town long enough.
She turns on her heel, satisfied with the fact that you have agreed to attend to her lady or whomever it was, Lavinia, who is apparently summoning you. And she departs the tavern. Now, it is the evening of the last day of Growfest. And so tomorrow will obviously be the first day of planting. And that is when you are to go and speak with Lavinia Vanderhorn. So we have the remainder of the evening and the remainder of tomorrow to essentially speak about or do whatever it is that you guys want to do prior to going to visit Lavinia. I wanted to be able to take this opportunity for players to kind of get to know one another, not just the guys that are talking on Discord, but the characters themselves. So I want to go and sort of start around. We'll start with Gage, and give us kind of a. So you all have been together for roughly 1 year since the Wormfall event last year, where you guys were all fledgling heroes who found yourselves thrust together trying to help defend Sasserine from this incursion of these creatures, these undead worm-like creatures that killed people and literally turned them into these abominable undead creatures. So you guys were sort of involved with helping to defend the city, as you will. So you guys kind of know one another in that sense. But what I want to do is I want to start with Gage, and just so everybody here on the channel knows, kind of give us a little bit of a description of your character, and maybe a little bit about what the party may know about Gage. Like if you're an open booking, you just kind of tell whatever. But if you feel that there's things that your character may not have divulged, like where you're really from or anything like that, or something about your background they may not know, feel free to keep that secret. But I just kind of want to go through and go around and get introductions going so that everybody knows who's who and what's what. So we'll kick it off with you, Gage.
Well, hello, guys. Good to be at the table again having a beer. And I am Gage Luan, and my family owns the Luan Academy, which is an academy that pretty much puts out great warriors. However, I am one of the reject children from the family since I have a strength of 6 and an intelligence of 18. I just am not a fit for the family. So I was kind of forced into the warrior path until my crazy aunt decided to teach me a cantrip called True Strike, and I was suddenly able to hold my own on the battlefield, but it was through magic, and that kind of addicted me to magic. So my family signed a contract for a battle, and I decided to skip out before that took place and came to this place to find myself in another battle. So I'm just hanging out here with you and plan to stay here for a bit longer and kind of embrace the magic that I've been learning and not have to deal with all of the stringencies of battle. So I'm all game to take on a contract and go see what Luana is up to and what needs she may have.
Nice. So, is Monkey no longer there? Bummer. All right. Well, we're on that break anyway. No, I was trying to do a shout out to Monkey, but he's not there anymore. Bummer. Cool. Thanks for that, Gage. Did Forge? Did you? Looks like you dropped off of the VTT. Are you okay over there? Or you guys just sharing screen?
No, I don't know what happened.
You broke it.
It was there.
You broke it. All right, so we're gonna go. We're gonna go to hack off.
Hey, Con.
I know. I'm just teasing. Hey, Con, go ahead
Okay.
and give us. I just mucking with you, man. Just all right. Go ahead and you are up next. Give us a little bit of description about yourself, what somebody may see when they look at you, a little bit about your background, as much as you want to share, or as much as you feel the party may have learned. Had you guys been adventuring together in the past year?
Well, Hakon's tall, dark, and handsome. He was raised on the street, kind of living out of the gutter, until he was found and adopted later in life by a group of scholars, and he pledged himself to their god, and now adventures to try to accrue knowledge to bring back to them and become strong enough to protect them.
And who is that god? Have we decided yet?
I got to reach out to you about that one.
Yep.
To see if it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, so good. So that's it. That is the whole. That is Hakon in a nutshell. Okay, I like it. We're gonna save the goblinoids for last. So Forge, give us a little background on yourself, description wise, and what the party may or may not know about you in your story.
The damn paladin forgot to say you can't hit nothing. So I'm a grumpy old dwarf.
All right, hold on a sec. One of y'all is going to have to mute when you're talking because it's coming back through his.
Okay, he's good.
Okay, cool. We're good.
I'm a grumpy old dwarf. I am a follower of Clangadin, the god of battle.
Silverbeard, my hero.
I love to smash my hammer into enemies. I try to avoid these two goblins. I like them.
That's the extent of it.
Where
are you from?
Other than I do like to sail a little bit.
You like to sail as a dwarf. How did that come about?
Well, kind of grew up a hard life.
Okay.
Until I found my faith.
Faith it is. All right. Edelbrock, how is it that you came to be here in Sasserine and mixed up with these guys?
Alrighty, I'm Edelbrock. I'm a hobgoblin. I got hang on a second. I got banished from my clan for healing my son when my god no longer gave me spells to heal it, and they ended up beating me near death, left me for dead while killing my wife and child in front of me. And my patron that now grants me spells directed me to this way before the age of worms. So I now find myself in a human city. I live in the slums section in the back of a brothel, trading healing for rent.
Nice. All right. And last but not least, our latecomer, Mormont. Give us a little what they might see when looking in your direction.
Marmot is kind of like everybody's gopher. They were kind to him, which not a lot of people are. So he in turn shows them kindness by not leaving. He likes to flex on Gage because like he's twice as strong. He likes to randomly attack the paladin to keep him on his toes and make him a air quote better fighter. He laughs when the bigger goblin tries to give him orders, and he takes pride in smelling better than the dwarf's beard.
What does he kind of describe what he kind of looks like for us?
He uses an old masquerade mask to hide his goblin features because he's a little gun shy of pitchfork villagers. Tries to pose himself off as a halfling as best he can, but when you catch him, he's just a bald little pallid green goblinoid ball of chaos.
I like it. All right. And that is our troop. That is our Sasserine 5. So, as you sit there contemplating the ales flowing, the conversation.
Start sniffing my beard. My beard doesn't smell bad.
You, as another tankard of ale slams on the table next to you, and you hear a whisper, "Yes, it does," as the half-orc barkeep moves back toward the bar. I want to go ahead and, for the first roll of the campaign, I would like Hakon to please give me a perception roll, please.
All right.
A DC 12 will get you some information. A DC 15 or greater will give you every bit of tidbit of information that I have.
17.
As you are all sort of still processing this letter dropped on the table by Lavinia, the conversation is going on as it does within the tavern. The feet are stomping, the ale is flowing, people are yelling and screaming, having themselves a good old time. Over in the corners in some places, dice are being thrown. But your sharp ears pick up a little bit of information about the halfling female that dropped off the letter. Apparently her name is Cora. You don't catch what they call her last name, and she is apparently in the employ of the Vanderboren family. And that much you probably could have figured out. It is very, the paper is vellum, and it has a very jasmine perfume, like somebody, like a woman wrote the letter and then sort of took perfume and sort of doused it a little bit to give it that nice fresh smell. But Hakon, as you're listening, the conversation turns a little dark as the name Vanderborn comes up, and somebody says, "Oh yes, it was absolutely terrible. Did you hear? Their mother and father were on the boat, when it burnt, it was tragic. Like almost a month ago now. They say there were no survivors. Tragic incident. As you come to understand that the Varric and his wife were apparently on board one of their ships when it caught fire, and they did not survive the fire. So that is a little bit of at least backstory for you guys. Now, nobody else has heard that, so whether you wish to share with the group or not, that is totally up to you. But yeah.
I mean, I think I'd relay that to the group.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like anything that's
Okay.
needs to be kept close to the chest.
Okay. So go ahead and share with the group. We're going to get some role play in tonight, whether you guys want it or not.
So I lean into the group and kind of whisper to them, just in case anyone else is overhearing us, the name of the halfling.
Her name was Cora.
The letter Cora, and mention to them the Vanderborn parents dying in a shipwreck, apparently catching fire, and it was Varric that we saved.
That is correct.
Last year, right?
That is correct.
And would I know that Lavinia is his daughter, or?
So you knew that. Well, give me a history check. DC 12 will get you some information. A DC 15 will get you all. Nat 20. You.
Well,
so interestingly,
He rolled like that when he was trying to hit something.
So you recall as being a paladin and being, more knightly and whatnot, you've met people of upper echelon, and you recall that the Vanderborns actually had two children, one boy and one girl. Vanthus is the son, and he was supposed to have taken over the family business, but apparently you heard rumor that Lavinia was the one that willed the business for the family. And so, but you definitely know Lavinia is their daughter, and she has a brother named Vanthus. So yeah, but the intriguing thing is that for whatever reason, the Vanderborn father did not will the business to his son, at least not the shipping business. He probably, as a merchant, dabbled in other things besides just the shipping portion of the mercantile. But at least when it comes to the ships, that's their biggest profit, allegedly. And so it's interesting that the son did not get it, but the daughter did.
Okay.
So
I'm going to hold on to that piece of information.
Okay. All right. So the night is passing. Is there anything in particular you guys want to do for the remainder of the night, or anything that we plan to do to hold off for tomorrow? What's the plan?
a quick question. How many of the people know how to speak Goblin?
I am not sure. Anybody besides Marmot have Goblin as a secondary language?
No.
Mormont would remind everybody that he doesn't actually speak Goblin.
Well, you would actually have to ask each character what they speak if you wanted to know.
That's true. Mormont was raised in the streets by the Dude, a light-fingered local specialist who disappeared and left him hanging. So he never really grew up around other goblins, just bars.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so nobody speaks Goblin then?
I don't speak
No.
up.
Apparently not.
Does a hobgoblin not speak goblin?
Oh, I speak Goblin.
Oh,
No, I was just giving y'all some information. The marks on my head are brands, and they're in Goblin runes.
that's probably why Mormont laughs at you when you bark orders at him, because he doesn't understand you.
That would be a good reason. So what do we want to do tonight besides drink or anything?
Is there anyone of note in the tavern that we can or anyone that looks like they might be important or consequential?
So you guys have frequented the business establishment a few times. You know the half orc owner. You know that the servants and whatnot kind of rotate. It's a very turnover heavy establishment. Not because it's a bad place, but just people tend to move on a lot from this place. You have actually seen Cora, that halfling woman, in here upon occasion. Although not super frequent, she is not unknown to you. So it was interesting that she was the one delivering the letters. You know that there, you know of an individual, and this is strictly for Marmot, but you know that there is an individual known as Silk, who has sort of ties to the, I don't know if you want to say underworld or the guilds and whatnot. He's been somebody that you have been able to pass or get past information in the past. He is a regular here. And so, yeah, there's a few. Hey, thank you, Sir Paul. Uh-oh. Look at there. Mormont gets a 100. Actually, yep, has to be 200, by the way, Paul. Sorry. Oh, did you cheer? Did you cheer too? Oh, he did cheer too. Oh, man. Let's see. So you cheered 1 and 2. Yep. Sorry, I only saw I did. Yeah, I saw it. It came across for me, but it scrolled up and I didn't see the first one. So, so he has just cheered 200 bits for Marmot. So Marmot, you now have an additional advantage. So Marmot now has 2 advantages that he can use sometime in the game.
I will try not to die before I use it.
Too.
Yeah, exactly. What's that?
He said he did me earlier too.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I'm gonna have to scroll back and see. Wow, it didn't show up the last time. All right, and that one was for Edelbrook. Thank you. That is a hobgoblin. That's hilarious. All right, so let me get that knocked down really quick. And so also Edelbrock has 1 as well. So now you guys each have 2. So it is roughly 9 o'clock in the evening. It's a port town, so probably I could say the lights never go out. But most businesses outside of inns and taverns and seedy places of ill repute, most of them are closed up shop for the evening. But there is still plenty that you can do tomorrow. Or do we just want to not do anything and then eventually wind up at the Vanderborn's place tomorrow? It is your guys's. I just wanted to do this first kind of opening to give you guys opportunities to engage, interact, decide what you may want to do in the city tomorrow before it's time to go meet Lady Vanderborn.
You know,
Well, Gage is going to lean forward and look at Mormont and go, Mormont, if you're not going to eat that, can I have it?
The letter?
The letter?
Yes, he was actually just pushing it across the table and was come to comment that he actually prefers the smell of the dwarf's beard.
oh my God. Oh,
I'll
God,
wipe off a little piece of edge that he licked.
What's that?
Hey, out of curiosity, when the halfling was here, did we
Yes.
happen to note anybody paying attention to her?
I will allow it to retcon. Give me a perception check, please. So you definitely noticed that people were looking and kind of whispering, and Hakon, that is sort of what cued you when you heard the voices and stuff, right? So Forge, you definitely noticed people, and then when Hakon kind of leaned in and mentioned that, it kind of clicked as to why they were maybe looking at her. Now, that being said, you guys have seen her here before, so it's not uncommon. Maybe people just recognize her and says, hey, what's up, or whatever. But in this case, people were definitely looking and nodding and kind of whispering over their shoulder, if you will. And then Hakon kind of brought it in.
Nobody in particular standing out, real seedy or anything?
No, nothing like that. It was more along the lines of, ooh, look who's here. Oh, did you hear what happened to her employer? You know, and that's when Hakon heard the people whispering about the shipboard fire and the parents being lost in the fire, and then everything being left to Lavinia. Who, by the way, Hakon, you know that Lavinia is the older sibling. It was just unusual for business to go to the woman as opposed to the son, even though she is the elder.
Okay.
So, that being said, anything else that we want to discuss or plan for tomorrow that we want to do or anything?
Marmot will eyeball the big goblin as he takes the part of the licked envelope. And do we need supplies for this journey? What are we doing?
Well, most shops should be closed by now. If we do, we have to be up early to get them before we head out.
I am going to say, whomever wants to give me, and again, this is just because I want to get us practicing dice rolling, so I apologize if you think I'm doing overkill on some of these, but give me a, I'm trying to think what kind of a check that I want to do. Give me a history check with advantage. A DC 12 gets you something, 15 gets you everything. So you actually know that from where you are here, both Gage, okay, everybody can roll. You get a 16, you get a 16, everybody gets a 16.
You wanted us to practice rolling.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you did.
That's what you said.
Yes, sir. So don't use my words against me. So you all know when the description of where the Vanderborn home was, first of all, you knew who the Vanderborns were from last year. So you had an idea where their home is. But you know exactly where the Vanderborn house lies with respect to where you guys are right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move everybody over to the big map right now, first of all. You guys all know, now watch, I'm not going to be able to find it. Somewhere in here. Where is it? Yep, you guys all know. So if I'm going to scroll the map out a little bit, and if you can see me pinging on the map,
Yep.
that you guys all know that is the Vanderborn's home. and there's Blue Skink Lane. As soon as they said Blue Skink Lane, you guys know, oh shit, I've been there, and you know exactly where it is. So you can see that from where you guys are, it's really only 1,000 feet as the crow flies. So it's less than about a 10-minute walk from where you are now. So you definitely know your way about town here, at least in the merchant district. So you guys know exactly kind of where you are at and how long it's going to take you to get there. Now, that being said, you guys don't all sleep in this tavern. Each of you has your own kind of places. A couple of us have actually identified where they live and whatnot, but for the most part, we really haven't put that into any of our real backstories, which is fine. But I just want to give you guys an idea where it was. So when you guys decide to go there, you know it'll be easy for you to find. So, and that gives you an opportunity to say, do you want to sleep in tomorrow? Do you want to get up and go shopping and do whatever it is that you need to do? Or what do we want to do?
Well, my daily routine normally involves me healing at my brothel and any shady person that happens to come in there. So that's what I do throughout the day, every day.
Right.
Trying to appease my patron.
Yep. Okay. So Edelbrock has what his routine is going to be down tomorrow. You know that he's going to be now just for metagaming here. Edelbrock, does the group know like where you're staying, or they just know like what part of town you're in? Do they know specifically? Have you shared that type of information?
It's full knowledge. I live in the back of a brothel.
Right.
In fact, it's kind of a dingy little room I stay in.
Yeah, understood that. But do they know what brothel? Because there's more than one brothel in town, and there's like they know or
no secrets on hiding it.
Okay, that's fair. All right. So if you want to share that with them, you can. But you guys know that Edelbrock is usually unavailable for at least the first half of the day. And again, this meeting is supposed to be in the evening tomorrow. So whatever that means, dinner time, 6 o'clock, whatever. Excuse me. So that does give you guys time to go shopping if that's what you want to do. When it comes to the question of do you guys need supplies and stuff, only you can answer that. But I think the better answer would be, what does Miss Vanderborn want? Then you would have to decide, do we need supplies to affect whatever it is? So, But again, I'll leave that up to you guys. And since nobody wants to jump in right away, I really want to try to get people engaging in this, because one thing I found online, if one person's doing everything, everybody else checks out. And I really want, the only thing that I care about you guys having a good time. So to do that, I want us to be engaged. So we'll just go around, because
about taking a nightly stroll and see if anybody was paying attention to Cora might try to do something to us.
Okay.
Yes, I will ask Gage if he needs me to carry his bags for him tomorrow, and then I will shadow the dwarf.
Yeah, now you're going to shadow with
without
him?
him knowing.
Okay. All right. So
Even though he knows now.
as we go to that, I need a hide check from Marmot and a perception check from Forge, please.
Can I accompany Forge on his walk?
Yeah. This is your world, guys. I am not going to. Whatever you guys want to do.
Let's get those bad rolls out now.
Yep. My goal is to present you guys a place where you can walk off a cliff and kill yourselves without even trying. Okay. As long as you're having fun doing it, that's all I care, right? So this first session is getting us into the adventure, as well as getting you guys to learn about each other and figure out what you can and can't do, or how you game, right? How you play at the table. What is your preference, right? I just want everybody to be involved. That's all. And I'm going to keep pushing it until until I get what I want. Damn it. Nah.
Not a problem.
Yep. So Edelbrock, as you, I assume, bid your friends good evening, to head back toward your home in Shadow Shore. As was that Hakon or Gage that said they wanted to go at Forge? Hakon, was that you?
Hakon.
That's what I thought. Gage, anything particular that you want to do, or are you just going to retire for the evening, or are you going to stay drinking? What do you want to do?
No, I'll retire for the evening. He's got some reading to do.
Okay. So as
It's not heavy reading.
boom, I like it. This is going to be great. You wimpy.
Best. I have 2 spells that are ritual spells. Do warlocks get ritual spells?
It's a good question. I don't
That's a
see
very good question.
if it allowed you to select it. I would say yes. But
They both say action or ritual.
What's that, sir?
So they both say action or ritual.
Okay. So that means you can cast it as an action, or it can be cast as a ritual. So I am going to assume it might be that only non-warlocks can cast it as a ritual. But since it can be cast as an action, a warlock has it available to them, but the warlock themselves can't cast it as a ritual, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I just don't remember. I've never actually played the warlock class.
Yeah, I don't think they can cast rituals. I think that's why it reads that way, because it's not just warlocks that can cast it, but anybody who's not a warlock can cast it as a ritual, but warlocks can't. But that's pretty interesting. Can a warlock get the ritual caster feat? How cool would that be? Interesting.
Well, level 1 wizard gets the ritual adept.
Yeah. All right. So we will solve these problems as we go. But to judge it right now, I am going to say no, you cannot cast it as a ritual. But it only says that for those caster types that are allowed to cast as rituals. So that being said, as the evening continues to progress on at least a little bit, as I said, it's roughly around 9 o'clock or so as you guys begin to wind down your day. Edelbrock, you and Gage depart, heading at first in the same direction and eventually parting ways as you both retire to your respective domiciles, wherever that may be. Forge, you and Hakon find yourselves outside the tavern in the city proper as you begin to work your way around town. I'm going to this is going to be like a really huge tokens on here. That's kind of funny. So I'm gonna first of all see if I can. No, I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna put the big ass tokens for everybody because I didn't put any sizing on the map, so it doesn't know how big to make your tokens. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna drop you guys on here. But everybody, 1, 2, 3. Who am I missing? Gage, Hakon, 1, 2. Oh, there is 5. Duh. All right. So anyway, you guys can move yourselves wherever you want, and I only do this so that you guys can. Yeah, if you know how to shrink your token, you can. You just have to open up your prototype token and make it half size or a quarter size, whatever.
Yeah, I went down to half.
Yep. If you
I
guys
can only go down to 2.
That's hilarious. So you guys can move your way as you Forge, as you and Hakon are moving through the city streets, the the lamplighters have been out in force as the sun has began to set earlier, and roughly every couple of 100 feet there are lanterns lit, casting pasty glows over the walkways and waterways that make up Sassarine. You are very familiar with the streets in this area, the cobblestone mixed with the sandy grit that gets washed in from the salty ocean breezes. The earlier squall from the day still lingers slightly in the form of a sweltering kind of a heat that is given off because of the jungle surroundings mixed with the salty spray from the air and the rain, as I said, as it falls in stagnant pools. One thing about the city that you guys have come to realize is that while clothing is not optional, fully clothed is optional. And many of the average citizens, those who don't engage in adventuring or soldiery and other official type aspects like that, a lot of times men go without their tops, women go with very small tops because of the heat. It's not any kind of a fashion sense. It is because of the sweltering nature, in particular the summer times. And you guys are in the low summer, the late spring, the low summer, as the monsoon season is but a few weeks away. The sweltering heat of the summer is already making itself well known. And as you move your way through town, kind of going to investigate, look around, you sense that you're being followed.
That's what I figured.
And as you go to take stock, you see a furtive figure dancing between various shadow crevices and alleyways and stuff. And give me an intelligence check, Forge. Just roll your intelligence and lower for a success. Higher than your intelligence is a failure. As you look and you're like, I knew it. And then you realize you are being followed by your very own Marmot.
Oh, perfect. Well, in that case, I'm going to come up a little bit and go around a corner and then wait for him.
Okay. As you hide around the corner, Marmot, as you approach the corner that they go around, give me a perception check, please. As you come around, you fully did not realize that Forge had stopped. And as you come around the corner, you see your companion along with Hakon standing there waiting for you to come around the corner. So.
If you wanted to come with us, you should have just said so.
Well, I'm obviously practicing my stealth.
Poorly.
Your stealth is as good as his swinging.
Okay.
For practicing.
But to that end, I will say, Forge, that you and Hakon, and indeed Marmot, you do not see anything out of the ordinary. Marmot, when you left, you saw Forge and Hakon leaving. You did not see anyone that you would consider to be suspicious in nature or leading you to believe that they're following your companions or yourself for that matter. Nothing out of the ordinary. So as far as your suspicion that maybe somebody would be following Cora, the halfling, did not pan out. It's nothing came of it.
Always worth a
No.
thought.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
But I'm gonna just look over and see if there's anything unusual going around the Vanderborn mansion
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you, yes, now you are one with the shadow now, Marmot. You have disappeared and faded into the darkness. As Forge, as you and Hakon sort of go, you watch your companion Marmot depart, and he disappears into the night. And as far as you're concerned, he's gone home to go to bed or whatever it is goblins do at night. The Vanderborn mansion is a rather stately and not really.
Put a magic light on him so he stands out.
It's not even ostentatious. It is surrounded by a wall. Nice. That is awesome. Nice.
I'm using a stealth check to just watch the compound for a little bit.
Oh, okay. You're watching as well. As you looking at the compound, it is a well-appointed affair. It has a 7-foot-high privacy wall going all the way around it, although you can see in a couple places there are large trees that grow in the corners of the compound. So it's not like it is, the wall itself is for real protection, although it does provide a decent protection. You can only see one large stone gate entry. It's a typical like mini tower that's about 8 feet tall that has a big iron gate set in it that leads into the interior. The interior of the home has a nice outdoor area, garden area, whatever you want to call it, of the compound. And it has a walkway that leads from the iron gate to the gates and the door of the house proper. You can see there are lights on inside. It looks like there's a couple of guards, not on the inside, but they look like city watch that patrol that area, and they stay in that area. So perhaps they are off-duty militia that are hired by the Vanderborns, or perhaps not. You're not sure, but they seem to be walking like in circles around Blue Skink Lane and Vine Street and whatnot. You kind of see the same thing from the other side of the lagoon there, Edelbrock. You could see the compound lights from within. The house itself, though, is mostly dark. There are just a couple of rooms that have light shining out. And the exterior of the home, by the entry and the walkway leading into the house, is a little more well lit than the rest of the compound outside the home proper. But nothing unusual that you guys notice. Nobody sneaking in, sneaking out, or anything like that. Just looks like a rather dull day at the rich boy's house.
So I assume those towers that are all over the map, they're watchtowers.
Something similar to those, yes. To be honest with you, I can't fully say that's what they are, but I'm going to say that's probably what they are. Some homes have them. Some they could just, again, whoever made the map put them on there. They didn't describe them as being anything other than decorative on there. They could be round homes. They could be places for city water, well water or something like that. Or they could be guard towers that are not normally in use but available for soldiers to quickly take up arms at to help protect various parts of the city, stuff like that. I'm not going to judge on that right now, but it's a question that's actually a good question to answer.
So besides the patrol of guards that are circling around the block there, is there many other people on the road?
So it's actually, I don't know, it's like the suburbs. There are people that move around, especially toward the waterway. There are establishments that are rather busy just because of the fact they're on the waterway. Many of these places are residential, but there are a lot of, there are taverns, there are inns and whatnot. There are a few places on the water that are like the dock, where dock workers may be working in some way, some fashion or whatever, to load and unload ships, move stuff in and out of the harbor and whatnot. But yeah, it's not like in the city proper or during the day. It is a little later at night, so it is less foot traffic, but it's not like completely empty of traffic.
How heavy is the guard presence? I mean, the city is in turmoil.
Well, the city was in turmoil.
Okay.
The things are starting to get back under control. There's a group which has always existed, known as the Dawn Council. There are 7 districts within Sasserine proper, and for those that haven't read the guide, essentially you've got the Azure District, the Champion District, Cudgel, the Merchant District, the Noble District, Shadow Shore, and Sunrise. Those 7 districts make up the city proper. You guys are currently in the Merchant District. The Azure District's probably one of the more important ones because that's all the docks and all the other stuff. But anyway, each district elects a representative to serve on the Dawn Council, and the Dawn Council then runs the city proper. Back in the day, a lot of the guilds and a lot of underworld influence, if you will, infiltrated a lot of these and whatnot. And so a lot of the oppressiveness that used to be the Lordship of the Isles and the Sea Barons and the Sea Baron, is that Sea Baron? Lordship of the Isles is just to the north, you guys. They had a lot of heavy presence in here, and so they had their thumb on Sasserine, and a lot of those shackles have since been cast off. And with the Wormfall, a lot of with all of the chaos and all that, people saw it as a way to elect new leadership and put people in place that would help sort of guide the city. But externally things seem to be getting much better, but internally, if you look, there's still a lot of strife, still a lot of jockeying for position, like who's going to hold the position on the Dawn Council as the lead person on the Dawn Council. Where's it coming from, so who's going to control the city, for lack of a better term. And a lot of these underworld nefarious individuals are beginning to get their fingers into the political side of the business and being able to get their own people elected into the offices so they then would be able to control. And again, as mentioned before, the Lotus Dragons are sort of a name on everybody's lips, but nobody wants to say it out loud because when you say the name out loud, bad things happen, so to speak. So again, it's not in turmoil per se, but it is kind of a very high tension sort of a thing going on. Yes.
I was going to ask, post-turmoil, if there were any abandoned houses in the area where I could crash out.
So give me an investigation check, please. There are places that are semi-abandoned, but most of those aren't in like the Merchant District and whatnot. I am going to say that, Marmot, there's not like totally abandoned, but most of the time you manage to find a nook or a cranny or something in an alleyway that provides you enough cover and shelter that you can crash without like being bothered or whatever. In the merchant district, though, it's still fairly decent. Some of the lower districts, like Shadow Shore, which, for lack of a better term, is a slum kind of a district.
Don't be so cheap. Spend some coin and get a room.
But yeah, so you did manage to find something. It's not an actual building, but you do manage to find at least something that'll provide you shelter. If not, you don't need warmth because it's getting to be kind of steamy hot out.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was kind of looking for in the area of the estate.
I'm going to say yes. So I'm going to say yes. In this area right here where you're at on like Bastion Street and Star Street, all in here, there's these rows of buildings here. Some of them are not homes, they are businesses. So you managed to find up on one of the roofs, it's a little flat, and so it has iron grate railing around the top of the roof, like some of the old buildings you'll see in like England and stuff like that. Some of the houses that the roofs are a little more flat, and they've got the wrought iron railings around, so people can walk around on the roof or whatever without falling off. You find something similar to that that provides just enough shadow for you to slink into on top of this business. Again, it doesn't provide a lot of shelter, but it provides you enough shelter that you're able to.
It's nice weather out. I'll perch up there and just keep an eye on peculiar individuals walking through the area.
Okay.
As I doze off.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check. Even though your passive stealth is like 19, it's crazy. All right. So, you slowly begin to drift to sleep, and as you watch, it appears to be normal foot traffic in the area that you're at. It is guards. It's the occasional couple walking hand in hand. The occasional businessmen locking up their establishment and bustling down the street to get home to their wives and children. What about the rest of you? I know that Edelbrock, you're going back down to Shadow Shore, right?
I will be, but right now I'm scoping out the mansion. I've moved up to the rear wall.
Right.
How tall is the wall again?
7 feet.
Okay. And there's no guards in this tower, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, I'm gonna scale the wall.
All right, go ahead and give me an athletics check. DC 12 to climb. DC 15 to climb.
Instead?
What's that?
Can I use acrobatics instead?
No, climbing is athletics.
Tell Jackie Chan that.
Oh, you're going to parkour? The wall itself, as you go to climb, you find that the bricks and the outer casing of it have had so much rain and deluge on it, it's got this slimy kind of a feel to it. So it makes it very, very difficult for you to climb the wall. Unfortunately, you can't quite get there.
I assume that there's no trees or anything nearby I could use from the way it looks.
I am going to say that not to get onto the tower, but there is a small little house behind the Van de Boren mansion that does has a tree. That would be easy to climb, a DC 10 if you want to climb up the tree itself.
Oh yeah, I couldn't have that roll a minute ago.
All right. if you would give me just a second here, I'm going to do this.
Who's overwatching this again? Is it the Goblin?
He was. He was watching somewhere else, but all right. I am going to do this for everybody. Now, I'm only doing this so that everybody can see, so I can ship the map. But currently, right now, the only one that's actually there. Oop, hang on, I'm missing somebody here. Let me do this. I'm putting you guys on this map. But right now, the only one who actually sees is Edelbrock. But I am going to do some. I'm moving this map so the fog of war will show what you can see with regards to the house. Give me just 30 seconds. Almost done.
And just in case, I am not using any sort of light source, so I'm relying solely on my dark vision.
Okay. All right. This will be good enough. As you guys stand outside the home, I don't know why it's not showing. Do I have a wall? Oh, that's
Is
why.
it Agent?
No, that's why. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to remove this wall here just so you guys can see. Because I had this as a wall that you couldn't see over, but now that you're looking down into it, I'm allowing. So the black area that you can't see is the house itself, but you can see the grounds and however far your eyes would let you see. Just moving these walls off of. Damn it.
And are these just small shrubberies? They're not trees?
These are, these right here are little shrubs, but in the corners here, they're actually trees that are on the inside of the inside.
Yeah, they're on the other side of the wall, though.
Yeah. Take these off. Makes it easier. All right. So yeah, so this is where you guys are, so you can kind of see. Essentially, this wall here is like 7 feet tall, and it goes all the way around. And then this here is the house. And then if you were to move around the outside, and I'm just going to move you around, Edelbrock. You don't have to. I'll do it for you, but you'll be able to see the whole of the Vanderborn home.
Is this tree in front there? Is that a actual tree? Looks like a pine tree.
Gotta take it with a grain of salt. A lot of this stuff is just artistic representation of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, so I'm going to say that which tree you were talking about, if you don't mind. Yeah, so that's just like shrubs outside. It's not really a tree that goes up the wall. Inside the compound, the trees are a little more fluffy and a little taller. The ones here definitely grow up along the edge of the interior of the wall there and kind of hang over and flow. But for the most part, yeah, they're just large shrubs and stuff.
Is there any section of the wall that looks, from where I'm at, that looks like it would be easier to climb?
No, the wall itself. So I'm going to say it doesn't look difficult to climb for you anywhere. The wall itself is only 7 feet tall, and you're over 5 foot tall, so you can reach the top of the wall to pull yourself up. So it'd be like a DC 10 athletics to climb up and over it. So it wouldn't be that difficult.
Actually, I'm 6 foot.
Yeah, same thing. I was thinking 5'6", 5'7". I didn't actually look at your height, but
I actually put his height in, so he's actually 6 foot. So
okay.
So yeah, I'll climb back down off this house, and I'll give it another running jump.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a athletics DC 10. As you parkour yourself up over the wall and you manage to land on the other side.
And there, while I was on the house, I meant to ask, there was no like roaming guard patrols going around the yard?
Not just yet, but there are guards roaming these streets here.
Yeah, I'm on the other side of the wall though, so I should be safe from them for now.
Yep.
I'm still stealthing though. Do I need to make another roll?
Well, yeah, now that you're on the other side of the wall, you need to give me a stealth check. Okay. As you find yourself now crouched down at the base of the wall on the inside of the Vandermoren compound.
These two sides of the house, I do not see any first floor windows.
So yeah, there are some windows. Again, the way the foundry walls work, but not on the back side of the house. You don't see any.
Okay, I'm gonna move towards the door.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a listen check to the door.
Okay.
Perception, right?
What's that?
Perception for it?
Yeah. Or investigation, either one. But yeah, perception would be best. You hear voices from the other side.
Do they sound close?
Yeah, they sound like they're like just inside the door somewhere. You definitely feminine voices.
Do I understand?
Give me an investigation check.
Common.
Give me an investigation to see if you understand. So they are a little bit too muffled. You can tell it doesn't sound like any non-common language that you've ever heard. It sounds common. But the one of them sounds like a very high-pitched kind of a voice. The other one sounds like that of a normal woman, human female. But the specifics of what they're discussing, you can't determine.
Would either one sound like the halfling that was in the tavern?
That is a definite possibility. I would say if you were to run odds, about 80%.
And is the lock on this door one of the old skeleton key locks that you can look through?
No, it is not.
Just testing the door knob. Is it locked?
It is locked.
Okay, I do not have the ability to pick a lock.
Give me a perception. DC 12 gets you something. DC 15 gets you everything.
What's the difference?
You hear the clanking of metal on metal as if somebody was walking with a weapon clanging at their side, and you hear a voice. Are you sure you saw something? Yeah, I'm telling you, I saw somebody on the roof over there, and then he come down, and then he disappeared in these bushes. I swear it's over here somewhere. Yes, probably just saw you. Probably just a cat, you idiot. No, I'm telling you, it was a person. On the other side of the wall, it sounds like maybe 3 or 4 guys at this corner where this tree is somewhere. Hey, look over there in the bushes. You see anybody? Maybe a drunkard fell off the roof. As you get to the other side,
to climb into the tree.
Okay. I will allow that without a roll. as you manage to climb the tree, you can see even though you have good night vision, it's still pretty good distance to see, but you can see several guards poking around the bushes at the south end of the compound where you jumped off the roof.
Okay. The side of the house, there's what looks to be a stream going under it. Is it?
No, I'm just gonna again. That's just an aesthetic thing. There
That's
is
what I
a
was asking.
there is a little creek thing there that where I'm not gonna say it's a stream per se. It is like a trough. It looks like a water had been there so much that it formed this trough, which is why on the road they built this plank over it rather than fill in the trough. They just built the thing to walk across it. But it's not enough to be a full blown. Well, you know what? Let's put it that. Let's go ahead and say yeah. It is enough that it is a full blown, but it goes under the wall and appears back on this side. There's no like hole to climb through. You're not sure how deep it is looking at it from here. If you're thinking about getting into water and swimming under it to get on the other side of the wall, or in through that way, for that matter. Probably not enough space for you, but maybe enough for a goblin.
I don't know what the goblin is currently.
Yeah.
What about this side of the house? Is there windows?
No, there are not.
All right, I'm going to just sit in this tree for a while and
Okay.
watch what the guards are doing.
Okay. The guards spend about 5 minutes or so poking around the bushes, kind of tippy-toeing, trying to see over the wall. They don't see anything. So eventually they begin to move on, once again, circling the house and the neighborhood. But you can watch them. They circle around and they come around to the north side here, and they start coming your direction as well while you're up in the tree. But you can definitely see them.
Approach this side. I'm going to slide out of the tree, out of sight, so
Right.
the wall's blocking between me and them.
Okay.
But they look like they're back to a regular patrol, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to move towards the front of the house.
Okay. I'm just double checking here real quick because the house itself is 3 stories, by the way.
Yeah, I wasn't ballsy enough to try to scale it.
Yeah. I'm just looking to see if checking the map real quick to see if there's any. Yeah, the second floor has a couple windows on the side and the back, but that's up on the second floor. And the third floor doesn't look like it has any on the back. It's got some on the sides and the front. But anyway, as you move around to the ground floor of the house, you see that there is a ground floor window like right over here.
Yeah, I'm moving very cautiously on the side because I know there's guards at the front door, front gate.
All right, go ahead and give me a stealth check again, please. You move around the corner and you're trying to work your way through the bush, and suddenly a large crunch and a snap happens as you step down on a twig, large enough to crack and echo in the interior of the compound. You freeze and hold your breath, but nothing.
I'm going to hurry to the wall, move the wall again.
Okay. Nothing. Which were you trying to climb the house? Is that what you're trying, or the wall itself? No, I'll give you that. I'll give you this with advantage because it's like you're almost as tall as the wall is.
No wall.
No, you are stuck on this side of the house.
You're gonna move back this way.
All right.
Get those rolls out of your system quick.
He can't fucking play with
All right, I'm gonna sit here for a moment and just listen.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception for what are you listening for? Anything in particular?
The sounds of anybody coming to check out the snap. If I do hear somebody coming, I'm gonna move towards the rear of the house.
Okay. Every so often, as you sit there, how long you want to sit there for? How long? What's the?
I'll give it at least a good 5-10 minutes.
Okay. You definitely hear the sounds of people walking by on the outside. You don't hear or see anything on the inside. Interestingly, there are no guards walking the interior perimeter of the compound. Although, as I said, you do hear guards on the outside of the compound. Probably every 10, 15 minutes, maybe, they manage to pass by.
And I assume while they're passing by, they're talking and nothing sounds like it's out of place.
Correct. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to peek around the corner of the house and make sure it's clear, and then I'm going to proceed back to where I made the noise.
Okay. You managed to get there once again?
All right, do I need another stealth check this time?
No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna give another one.
All right, does the front look clear of any guards?
Yes, in fact, the house and the grounds are fairly well maintained. They're a little bit of overgrowth, but not too bad. You can see that the front of the house here has this large portcullis gate-like structure, and it's standing open. Not like wide open, but the gate itself isn't fully closed. It's like half open. And you don't see any guards on the front of the house.
Oh, this is a lit room?
That is a window, and there is a room on the other side. Looks to be some sort of a learning area, maybe for teaching children. You see several small desks as well as a large desk and some floor carpets. So it looks like maybe a teaching room of some kind.
I'm going to make the assumption, seeing I've only been in the city for about a year and a half, that I don't really know who these people are.
So you know who the Vanderborns are. Everybody knows who the Vanderborns are, at least as far as their public persons are. The Vanderborns are a very well-to-do shipping magnate, right? The Vanderborn name is synonymous with shipping industry. And the Vanderborn, Varric Vanderborn, whom you guys saved during the Wormfall, was very well known in the community, and which is kind of how you guys sprungboard yourselves into the adventuring life because of what Vanderborn spoke about you guys and saving him. People would then hire you to do odd jobs here and there, escorts out into the jungle for hunting, all kinds of odd jobs here in the city have come your way just because of the Vanderborn connection. So while you don't know the family really well, you know of them. It's like there's nobody it's like common knowledge. It's like everybody knows who the President of the United States is. Everybody knows who Varric Vanderborn was. So, yeah. But again, you don't know the family per se.
So the room is lit, or is it dark?
So it's actually dark in there. I provided light so when you peek in, you can actually see, and everybody else can see. But it's dark inside. This room itself does not have any light in it, but your dark vision enables you to see.
Okay, that's a desk up against the wall. Is it for like possibly like learning material on it?
Yeah,
Does it look like
exactly.
it's office
That's
desk?
what it looks like to you. There's a couple small desks in here that look like for small people, children maybe, and so this looks like it could be a place for learning of some sort.
Window locked, I assume.
It is.
Okay, I'm gonna try to ease up to this next window.
Okay.
Do I see the guards that were in the front?
There were no guards in the front.
Oh, I thought you told the other guys there was two that were out front of the gatehouse.
If I did, it was a misspeak on my part, but there are no guards. As you peek into this window, you can see what appears to be a library of some sort. Several shelves lined with books, a rather nice fireplace with a low fire burning, and of course a desk for studying across.
This window locked.
It is.
Is there any options for me to unlock this window, seeing that I'm unable to pick locks?
I am.
Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, that'd work. Yeah, blast the window.
Eldritch blast it.
I am going to say once again, if you have a tool, or tell me, I'm going to say you can use an athletics check to force.
I'm proficient in sleight of hands.
I'm still going to say an athletics of some sort, but what are you going to use to try to force the window open? Like a dagger, a sword?
It's out of my boot.
You're going to what?
Probably one of the daggers from my boot.
Okay. I am going to say that if you can give me, I'll say sleight of hand, a DC 15 will get the window open with a sleight of hand, but you're also going to need a DC 15 stealth check to do it quietly enough that nobody hears.
Really need a goblin.
Yeah.
Is there any chance I would know where the goblin is?
No.
I didn't think so.
What do you want to do? Got to get back to the rest of the party.
Yeah. I'm going to probably make my way out.
Okay. But you have a definite idea on what the layout's like.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to take my gains and sneak back out.
You could go right out the front gate. It's wide open.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Nobody ever takes the DM's advice. They all want to roll dice.
Back to the tree I was hiding in.
Okay.
And climb back up it and
Okay.
make sure it's clear before I scale back over the wall.
Okay. Easily enough. Easily done. As
And
you,
then I
Uh-huh.
move back up to the city. I'll probably head towards my brothel.
Okay. As you find yourself back in the city once again, everybody heading to their respective places to find yourselves a spot to gain some rest. What are the plans for the morning? Go ahead, Forge.
I was heading to the Bent Goblin Inn for the night.
Okay.
As was I.
All right. As
While he was doing that, Gage would have set up his calligraphy table and practiced signing Livia Vanderveer's name until he had it perfected, and then he'd do it 20 more times.
All right, go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check, please. A DC 12 will get you semi-okay. A DC 16 will get you to where you can very easily fool most people. a
And if
true.
I'm using my calligraphy,
I will allow you to add your proficiency bonus to your sleight of hand check. Oh, that was almost a 19. So,
you know,
yeah,
so
you.
it would have.
Yeah.
Does that a +2? And you said proficiency 2 added to that?
Oh yeah, yeah. So that's a yep. So yep. So you got the +2, so you get an additional +2 for your proficiency. So you manage after an hour or two of practicing to get it to where it's at least a little bit passable. If you were just like shoving a piece of paper into somebody's face and they were in a hurry, that might be passable. But you realize it's probably going to take you a little bit more than just that in order to get any better. So we will table this, and you can try again the following day until each day that you work on it, you add your proficiency bonus again. So tomorrow you'll get a +4 onto your proficiency bonus. But I don't think I'm going to go any higher than a +6. After 3 days, if you don't get it tomorrow, after the next day after that, I'm going to say that, yeah, it's as good as you're going to get.
She just got a signature that can't be done.
Yeah. I don't know about can't be done, but you can't for some reason. So.
As a side note, apparently I am proficient with thieves' tools.
Really?
Yeah, I'm surprised too.
That's kind of interesting. Do you have thieves' tools to be?
No.
Okay. All right. So with that, you all go to retire for the evening. Just to get in the habit, everybody give yourselves a long rest. And in the meantime, we as a party are going to take a break. It'll be a short break. It'll be 10 minutes. Typically, that's what I do in the middle of the game is I will go and run or we'll just take a quick 10-minute break so I can go do what I need to do. You can do what you need to do. Refresh your snacks. Refresh your whatevers. And we will be back. Hopefully, those that are out there watching still will come back. And hopefully, all the players will come back. You're not too bored. And when we come back tomorrow, we go to visit Lavinia Vanderborn. And we can officially get this campaign kicked off. Thanks for hanging with us. Slow start, trying to get us going. Hopefully it's been at least semi-enjoyable so far. We'll be right back.
Well, good work is stealthing around.
Yeah, finally got those crap rolls out.
But you know, you can't climb, but you can definitely hide.
Good thing the was only 7 foot.
All right, I'm taking that break. Oh.
And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. I think we came back right in the middle of an ad. I don't see them, so I don't know. I don't see them, so I don't know if the ad is still rolling. But welcome back, everybody. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Everybody that hung out to see what our intrepid explorers were going to do next, see what house they were going to break into, and see how many times they can get arrested on session 1. We're pushing. Did everybody take their long rest? Just to make sure. I think everybody
Yes.
did. Not that it matters, but just to get in the habit of doing so. So if you just joined us, which I don't think many people did, our party is in Sasserine. They have been invited to come see Lavinia Vanderborn, who is the eldest daughter of Varric Vanderborn, whom this party saved last year during the Wormfall. But now his daughter has need of their aid, and the party has come to realize and discover that Varric Vanderborn and his wife perished in a tragic boat fire on one of their new boats that they were going to take on a cruise to go see the world a little bit, and they never got that far. However, our party now has gone to their various places of rest, wherever that may be. And
After engaging,
after what?
sorry,
No, go ahead.
it says after trying to copy her handwriting and then trespassing on her land.
Yes. After trying to essentially,
So we've got forgery and trespassing down.
yeah,
right?
you know, we've got the whole identity theft thing going on right here in downtown Sasserine. So welcome everybody to Thieving 101. While you guys aren't due to see Miss Vanderborn until the following day, what I'm going to do here real quick is kind of get you guys all started during the day, and then you guys can kind of pick up from there what you want to do for the day. We can fast forward until you guys all meet back at the Rusty Pirate and then make your way over to the Vanderborn house, or we can just say we're just going to meet at the Vanderborn house. But I'm going to start with Marmot. As Marmot settles into his sleep, into one of those half in, half out of the dream world that he's so accustomed to, living the life that he has led. The sun has gone down, the shadows deepening, the partly cloudy skies covering up even what little bit of light the twin moons of Luna and Selene project onto the planet below, giving it sort of this, I don't know, ghostly kind of a view in the low summer heat of the evening. In the morning, as you begin to vest yourself of the cobwebs of dream world, something tickles your nose and you sort of brush it off for a second. And then it tickles again and you brush it again. And all of a sudden you hear this. And you feel something rub against you.
We got a pity tap.
And as you sort of awaken,
Breakfast?
you see this sort of a mottled gray and white cat. Not a kitten, but not an old cat either. He has sort of a newish look about him, as he is sort of rubbing up against you, and his tail, as you're leaning into this area and where he is able to stand and rub up by your shoulder, his tail sort of flicks itself right under your nose at a perfect spot where it itches you slightly. As it climbs back down, looking at you expectantly. There's movement in the streets below as the shopkeepers and business owners begin to unlock their doors and go within. And you realize that you are in some sort of a fish wrap structure. Down below, there's individuals that sell fresh fish, as fishermen are already delivering the carts of fish to be sold in this man's shop. And apparently this lone straggler in the world of the jungles has found its way to this rooftop to join you, looking at you expectantly.
Is there an accessible way down
Absolutely.
to one of the fish carts?
Absolutely. The way you got up here easy enough, you can get down easy enough as well.
I would like to try to stealth down the wall and grab a fish and scale back up to the top and
Okay.
share breakfast with the cat.
All right. So, are you going to try to purchase one of said fishes, or are you going to purchase said fishes?
I'm going to find an unattended fish.
Gotcha. So, give me a sleight of hand and a hide check. A DC 12 will get you something. A DC 15 will give you a full success. As you manage to easily finagle one of the fish, and even easier, manage to depart almost without being seen. As you get down there, the cart is positioned in such a way that you're able to come down the side of the building up to the back of the cart while the fisherman is helping the shopkeep unload stuff into his store. And it just so happened that one of the fish sort of broke free from its little container, and it's sitting there dangling right at the end of the cart, and you manage to snatch it and disappear faster than either of them can see as they grab and turn, and by the time they turn back to grab it, you're already there and gone, and you have found your way back up to the top, where you manage to share your spoils with the newcomer who is joining you for breakfast.
Yes, I'll take out my dagger and cut up the fish and give it the fish head and tails and
Okay.
just sing fish heads,
Heads, roly poly, fish heads, eat them up, yum. I know that song.
Love it. Nickelodeon generation.
You know what? If you don't know Dr. Demento, hit up the Google now. All right. So you managed. Say again?
I was gonna say, wasn't that like that? Was it Dave Coulier show or something?
Yeah, it was Dr. Demento back in the day. Yes, sir. So you managed to make a new friend in the form of a grayish white mixed, sort of spotted all over its fur, gray patches here and whatnot over it. But you managed to make a new semi-friend as you both share a cold, gutsy fish breakfast in the morning. Forge, you roll out of bed first thing in the morning, what is it that your normal daily morning routine would look like?
Oh, I get up and I stretch and I practice my defensive moves and do a little prayer to my God.
Do you have any prayers to cling it in?
Let my hammer always strike true.
All right. What are your plans for the day? Anything in particular?
Other than just taking care of my weapons, my armor, cleaning them, and then preparing for breakfast, and then a double lunch.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe comb my beard out a little bit, smell it a little bit more. What the fuck?
So, just as a sidebar, in my home campaign, for the first time in years, I'm going to be actually playing, and I am going to be playing a dwarf cleric of Clangadin Silverbeard. And my morning prayer goes, Clangadin Silverbeard, forge master of valor, as the sun hammers the sky awake, temper my spirit like dwarfen steel, grant me the axe edge of courage for the trials to come. I actually have prayers written so that I can portray them in the game. I'm so excited to play. So, what about you, Mr. Hakon? What is your morning routine going to consist of?
First, he'd roll out of bed, go into the bar. Is the bar serving food at this time?
So, the tavern where you guys are or normally meet is just a tavern. It's not an inn or anything like that. So,
okay,
as part of your backstory, should be where in town you guys would be staying, because each of you has your own place. Like, you have found your own spot here in town somewhere, whether it's living in a boarding house, living in the back of a brothel, finding some place to hide out on the top of a rooftop somewhere, living at the church or the temple to your deity, is another one. So as part of your background, you should look in where in town you might want to be staying at. Some places may cost more than others. And then that way you always have a place to go to. But that being said, if you were to have your choice, we don't have to pick like an exact spot right now. Would you rather have your own room at a boarding house somewhere? Would you rather have a room at the church for the deity that you support or that you champion for? Or you just want to go ahead and pay the cost that it costs you to stay at a local inn? I will kind of give you those choices, and then we can kind of go from there.
Okay. Room in a boarding house.
Okay, so boarding house is probably going to run you maybe 5 to 10 silver pieces per month. Nothing major. But the boarding houses typically do provide a cafeteria style breakfast where they have like long tables with stuff put out, and you just go pick what you want within reason without taking from everybody. But yes, they do provide a bed and breakfast. They do provide breakfast in that sort of a long chow hall sort of a scenario.
Okay. So after Hakon gets his breakfast, he'd probably go back right to his room, polish up his weapons and armor in preparation for whatever quest they might be going on today.
Right.
And then start heading towards the manor.
Right.
Or what time would you be heading towards your manor?
If we were planning on, if the letter said like afternoon.
Yeah, she said. Well, she said. Do I have it still here? I don't think I have it open. Let me grab it real quick because I actually have it. Campaign.
I believe you said 6 in the evening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when. Yeah, she said evening, and so that's kind of in a general sort of a sense. Oh, yeah, here it is. I send you my warmest greetings, trusting this finds you in excellent health, blah, 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 blah. I entreat you to attend upon me discreetly at our estate tomorrow evening at the intersection of Festival Street and Blue Skink Lane. So when I say evening, typically that is post sunset. And
Okay.
for those who have a little bit of weatherman in them, tonight's sunset is roughly 17:53, which is 5:53 p.m. for those that know.
Okay. Then
It's not that I didn't prepare
in
and
the
have
mean-
it right here in front of me, but yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about it. When's the next gladiatorial challenges in the Champions District?
We will have to look and see because nothing has been posted on the boards that you are aware of. The Grow Fest has just finished, and sorry, I didn't mean to interject on your time there. Hey, Con, give me a sec.
Sorry about that.
The Grow Fest has just finished, and a lot of the games have just finished being competed in the Coliseum. Typically, post festivals, which for those that don't know, there are 3 major week-long festivals in the world of Greyhawk every year. Grow Fest, Rich Fest, and the last one always escapes me. But anyway, during those festivals, that's exactly what happens. You have all the games and gladiator type stuff going on. And then usually for probably 2 to 3 weeks after that, it's a lot of training and all that other stuff until the next set of games come up. But as of right now, there's nothing on the board as to what's next, but we can definitely find out.
Okay. Does Haycon know the location of like their shipping business, or at least some of their business interests around town?
The Vanderborns?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everybody knows the Vanderborns. Again, very big in shipping. However, I mean, because they are merchants, they have warehouses where the goods and stuff get moved into and out of, and other businesses will bring their goods to these warehouses for staging purposes to put them on the Vanderborn ships, etc. So it's a whole operation. So you are not aware of any maybe of his business interests, but you are aware that the family is very big in that industry.
Okay.
That's kind of like the global, everybody knows kind of a knowledge thing.
Yeah. Then before we all head to the manor, Haycon is going to go to a couple of the nearby, ports or warehouses that he knows of. Just kind of take a look around, nothing too invasive, just see if he can pick up anything or see anyone who shouldn't really be there or draws attention.
Sorry, I'm chewing. Hang on, I got a cookie in my mouth.
You're good. It's okay.
They're irresistible. So
Better have a glass of milk with it.
No, man, I got my drink right here. Give me an investigation check, please, Haycon. A DC 12 will get you general. A DC 17 will get you spot on exactly where you want to go.
Okay. I'm going to use the one advantage I've got.
Sure. Okay.
So 15.
Yep. So you don't unfortunately, you can't get anybody to direct you to specifically something that is Vanderborn's, but you do manage to find some interesting information in the sense that the Vanderborns, while very big in the shipping, and they did lose one ship, they don't have hardly any ships in the harbor currently.
Okay.
At least not that you know of. At least that nobody would tell you. So you find it curious that for a shipping magnet the size of the Vanderborn family, that there are none of their ships at any of the docks right now.
Okay.
And so you spend the better part of the day investigating, trying to figure stuff out. It's probably almost 2:00 when you finally get to where you're at down on the, so where you're at down here on the docks, right where you're at right here is actually the Smithies Guild Hall, and then the Merchants Guild Hall is across the walkway sitting here. And all of these buildings here on this area, they're like warehouses and shipping and freight companies all along this waterway here. There is a huge daily market that's like right here that's going on, like in this center of the merchants, whatever. All these docks have boats all along them. Many are anchored out in the harbor and blah, blah, blah. So, but from what you see, and none of them are flying or showing the symbol of the Vanderborn mark, which is a swan. None of the ships are flying any of the swan flags, or none of them have any of the bow carvings and stuff of swans or anything. So none of them look like any of the Vanderborn boats or ships. Although you wouldn't really know anyway, but still.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, if it's 2 p.m.,
yep,
gonna go for a stroll around Vine Street, Blue Skink Lane. Kind of do my best to be nonchalant and scope out who's coming and going from the Van Doren Manor.
All right. So you move
and
over
kind of stake it out.
All right. So we're gonna put you right here on top of the house. Just kidding.
Okay.
So you head over to the Vanderborns. What's that, Gage?
Because earlier, when Gage wakes up, he's going to send Luna, his owl familiar, out to Hankin, just so he knows that there's an owl that's tracking him.
Okay. And
just if that means
the owl makes itself apparent to Hakon?
Yes. Yeah. You know Luna.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely. Yeah. So you guys, again, you can assume some things in the game because you've been together for a year. The things that you guys cannot assume are like history and background and stuff like that.
Hakon will break up a piece of ration bread for Luna. If owls can eat bread.
They can eat anything.
Okay, good.
But just on a military basis, I would respond because we're separated from each other. Gage would make that connection to you in the morning. Of we're going to meet up later, so if we need the information, Luna will be a liaison for us.
Okay. Could I take a piece of parchment and just write down watching the manor and put it on Luna's Is it a leg?
That would be up to whether Gage thinks that his familiar would be willing to do that. I don't know.
He would,
Okay.
or she would. Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
And at least that way someone knows where I am. And
So the question, I guess,
do I need to
then,
roll it?
no, not at all. No, this is
Okay.
something. This is something that, as the party, you guys would sort of have solved at a previous time. So.
Okay.
And Hank, and you would know that Luna could communicate with me within 100 feet. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like if Luna was in 100 feet of him, you could just say something, or Gage would be able to see you through her eyes, etc. But this far away, it would require, hey,
Yeah.
go find Gage and let him know.
Okay.
She will grudgingly accept a pigeon carrying.
Say, if you attach a mouse to it as a briber with a mouse, or you can
runs around the alley until he finds a mouse.
Or you can
Hits
go
it with his halberd and gives it to Luna.
Go find the goblin. He's got a cat. So.
All right. Anyways, I just wanted to interject on.
Yep, that's fine, because I was coming to actually. I'm going to go to Edelbrock. In the morning, you awake. Give me a investigation check, please, Edelbrock. As you are going through your morning rituals, getting yourself ready, having your breakfast, and doing whatever, one of the girls appears, and she needs a little bit of attendance. And looking at her, the attention, I should say, that she needs is a little more significant than what you dealt with at previous times. She's beat up pretty bad.
Yeah, I've encountered several of that with the bouncers of this place and everything. And because I'm a charlatan, I keep making them think I'm a better healer than what I am.
Well,
So I'm just going to go through the old, shaman rituals I used to use when I was shaman on my clan.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to fake it.
Okay. All right. You give me an insight check, please. DC 12 will get you something. DC 15 gets it all. Yeah.
Neither.
Nothing. Yeah. This girl that you're working on, she has a distinctly Olman sort of a vibe about her, sort of somebody that may have grown up in the jungles of the Amedio. Definitely local, probably grew up in the mango. So for those that are not aware, Sassarine is a port town, and you guys are aware. Sassarine's a port town, but there are farms and whatnot on the outside of the city and to the south of the city leading up into the jungles. And there are like mangoes that they grow and other, farm industry growing there. A lot of those folks that live there came from the Olman culture because they grew up on the land. They didn't grow up in the cities and stuff. And so the Olman culture is very big in the jungles surrounding Sassarine, particularly the deeper you get into the Medio, the deeper, darker secrets that the Olman tribes had. She definitely has the Olman vibe about her. And go ahead and give me a medicine check for the last thing.
You want medicine or deception?
I am going to say let's do medicine first. If you fail, I'll give you an opportunity to save yourself with a deception. So you actually are pretty impressed with how you bind and bandage and heal and give her a little something to take the edge off. It's really just a rye whiskey, but you sell it off as medicine in a healing kind of a concoction. By all accounts, this girl can't be more than 15 years old.
Yeah, just for your knowledge, by the way, I have like a higher opinion of myself than I do of humans, and a lot of the humans all look the same to me, besides different shades.
Yep.
So I might not even realize this lady's from the jungle.
Yep. You might not.
And so a roll in a 3 was very fitting for that.
Yeah. Exactly.
My normal routine is first thing in the morning, I tend to the women of the night and the bouncers here, and then
Yep.
I'll cross the street to the what is it, the shrine of Kurroth, and then I do some healing for the local thieves guild because they know to meet me there.
Yep. And so you are fairly impressed with yourself as this girl kind of hobbles away. She's one of the more unfortunate ones that you have seen come across your path. She got beat up pretty good last night. But fortunately, the rest of the girls fared much better. Most of them aren't even requiring medicinal purposes or medicines or healings or anything like that. And so your duties there at the brothel are quick in this morning. Going across though at the church. Sorry, go ahead.
I said before I leave, I'll make a point to talk to Madame Vespa.
Okay.
About her bouncer's allowance. One of the customers roughed this one up so bad.
You get paid to do a particular service. You do not get paid to question the methods with which my employees conduct business in my establishment. Or you could perhaps find someplace else to rest your head.
That's fine. I'm sure I can find a residence in another brothel if I need to. But banged up women do not make you money.
Yes. Well, Alyssa unfortunately was employed for her services by one of them.
I don't know who them is.
Give me another insight check, please. You actually have a feeling you know who she's talking about as she leans in and says, the tattoos.
Is she referring to the Thieves Guild or the Lotus Dragons?
She is. Immediately you recognize when she says the tattoos, she is indicating that someone in relation to the Lotus Dragons was the one who was responsible for doing whatever it was that she did happened to the girl.
Ask her if she happens to know a name.
None of them have names. They are all masks and tattoos. But trust me, I will find him or her.
I will let her know that I do healing for the Lotus Dragon across the road. I will inquire into it.
You should stay away from them. They are not to be trifled with.
My healing grants me protection from them.
It's until you're no longer needed or you've learned too much. So.
They won't find many people in these streets who will heal without question.
Yeah. As you are departing, you see sort of slumped over one of the divans on the way out the foyer is a gnome that you know as Whisper. His real name is Thomas, but they call him Whisper as he's sprawled out on the divan a bit of drool running down his beard onto his chest, leaving a big stain, his hand gripping tightly the loot that he is so well known for. And he sort of grunts as you walk by, leaving you to your own devices to exit the building.
How well do I know this whisper?
Well, I mean, he's an entertainer, he's a bard, and he entertains here at the establishment almost nightly. So I would say that you know him well because.
I guess I should ask more. Is he a known source of information?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He's a reliable source.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. He's a bard, so he's kind of has that bardish attitude. The wink, the grin. You never know when he's being serious, but when you need to know something, if he knows it, he's definitely willing to impart that information on you. And as far as you know, he's never given you any bum dope.
I'll ask him if he knows any information about the Lotus Dragon that roughed up the worker here.
Well, first is where he come in, and then he come over and you want to have a drink, buddy? Come on, let's go see is Vess up yet? Because she's got the good stuff. Come on, and he sort of tugs at you as he slides off the divan, and you can smell as soon as he moves and he speaks. This stench of alcohol and tobacco just sort of washes over your face as he sort of grabs a hold of your sleeve and tries to bring you back the way you came toward Vespa's office.
I don't follow him. I've already talked to her.
Okay.
Plus, he doesn't seem like he's in much condition to give me a lot.
He is lit like a Christmas tree.
Can I take an insight check to make sure, just to figure,
Sure.
Is he really drunk or is he trained? He's more drunk.
No, absolutely. Go ahead and give me an insight. Yeah, based on the waff of alcohol you got, yeah, he is still drunk. Very drunk.
Okay. I'll probably talk to him later on.
Okay.
In his current condition, he's not going to be hopeful.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and finish my morning routine, but we'll cut it short because I'm going to be back over to the other tavern by noon.
Okay.
So I'll go across the road, and I'm not going to directly inquire about who roughed up the worker, but I will keep my ears open.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check as you are. Business is light this morning. Doesn't seem like too many people got into too much trouble. But it seems like nobody mentions anything about what may have happened over at the brothel, over at the Last Ditch Lovers. Yeah, nobody seems to indicate or give any idea that was going on.
Yeah, so just so you know, the rest of my morning or daily ritual is I go down to the shrine of Saint Wargle down the road.
Yep.
But I cut that out today.
Okay. So you finish.
Because I just want to relay with the rest of the guys at the tavern, at the tavern, what little information I gathered last night.
Okay. And so we have had everybody, I think Gage, you're the only one that we haven't really discussed about your morning routine. So let's go through that really quick, and then you guys can all gather once again at the tavern.
Well, initially I wanted to stay in the Champion District, but I kept getting challenged. Everybody wanted to beat up the Lewin family member. So I am going to cash in on one of the kids who went to the school, and I'm in a mother-in-law's section of a noble's house. So I'm going to be staying in the noble section.
Okay. So as you're hanging out in the noble district,
Everyone else has got to do that.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. So we will. We will.
And
I am
Gage
going to
wakes up in the
say.
morning and he
I
grabs
am.
his calligraphy board, thinking that he did such a great job of copying her signature, and holds it up to the light and goes, "Damn it, that needs some more work."
You are going to be staying at the Marin Vanchi house.
Marin Banshee.
I will give you the name. It's the Marin Vanchi house. I will. It's there. It's in the Noble District. They're sort of on the smaller Noble side, like upper middle class, if you will. But I'm going to post it in Discord just so you can. Actually, no. Let me see if I can post it in the game chat so everybody can see it. Maravanchi.
There it is.
And so, yeah. So go ahead and give us your morning routine on what we're doing.
All right. I'm going to start my morning exceptionally early today because I know we've got a meeting tonight. So the first place I want to go to is the harbor
Okay.
and meet with the harbor master. I'd like to get a copy of the ship, the Vanderbilt ship,
Okay.
and if there's a log, or how they logged it, and where the accident took place or the fire.
Okay. So first of all, had to double check on my map the actual spot for it's in the Azure district. I had the I guess I had the map open, but I closed it because I wasn't thinking I was going to need it. But let me re-pull open the city map for because it is somewhere in here. Yep. So it is. I am going to put it on the. I'm gonna not put it. I'm gonna ping the map. So can you see the map? Where?
Yep, I see it. Right up there by the double bridges.
Yep.
Yep.
So that is the harbor master's home. But now the harbor master, the family name is Islaran. Islaran. And again, I'll post that here. So anybody wants to. And by the way, I actually created journals for you guys all if you want to keep notes in your own journal. And there's also one for the party that usually is for keeping the for keeping party notes and treasure and stuff like that. So unfortunately, as you get to the harbor master's home, it's sort of a business and on one side and the harbor master's home on another. There's a lot of red tape that you are required to go through to get any information about vessels or whatever. So as you first arrive, there is a young man seated at a desk. And as you walk up, he says, "Welcome to Harbor Master House, sir. I am Jacob. I will be your assistant today. What is it information that I may have? Do you have your official document from the city courts to procure whatever document it is that you are looking for?"
I do not.
Oh, well, I see. Well, that could be quite a problem, you understand, because we can't have people just coming and taking documentation without authority.
Certainly.
Is there anything particular perhaps I can assist you with that will facilitate you in going to get said paperwork?
Lady Olivia Vanderborn.
Oh, the Vanderborns. Yes. Poor tragedy. Tragedy.
Yes. We've been informed that her family members and her father, who I personally assisted, um, has perished. I'm looking for the log that you may have on their sea voyage, where they were going and where the accident took place.
Oh well, I'm
And
quite sorry, but those records are very private. They specific to the business owners of the vessel. If you wish for an official investigation and what that report said, I do not have that here. Typically, they would hold those at the court of records.
Thank you. And you don't have any other information here, then do you have information about that boat?
Oh yes, we have the records. So we have logs and records of freights and what's being shipped and where it's going and things that are coming in. Yes, we keep all sorts of records like that. Yes.
Okay. What forms do you need me to fill out in order to get that information?
So we will need requisition form first of all to specifically detail those vessels of which you are showing an interest in. And then we would need somebody from the company which owns that vessel to properly have it filled out with its correct registration number as well as its port of origin, meaning where the ship is home based. And then, of course, we would need 3 copies of that document so that we can give one for our copy, one for the city archives, and one for, I'm not really sure, but they tell me I'm supposed to have 3 copies.
That's good. Thank you, Jacob.
Well, you are very welcome, sir. Is there anything else I can help you with? And if you happen to see Miss Vanderborn, give her my deepest condolences. Mr. Vanderborn was always very, very polite to me when he was here.
Nice. Absolutely. I'm actually seeing her tonight.
Oh,
More than
you
happy.
don't say. Lucky you. She is quite the lovely lady, I must say. I guess you did not hear that from me, but I believe that her parents were going on a vacation right before their tragedy. It's terrible business. Terrible business.
Oh, no, I've not been able to speak to her about that yet. Where was their vacation? Where
I,
were they planning
I,
on going, do you know?
I don't know. You would need the records to see where the ship was scheduled to go to, sir. I'm very, very sorry.
Absolutely. Is there anybody in the records that you would recommend that I speak to?
Oh, well, my friend Carlisle, but I don't know if he's there today. He's very busy, becoming a very important person there.
Nice. Well, if he's as competent as you are,
Oh,
I will look
more
forward to
so.
look him up.
More so, absolutely. All right.
All right. Well, thanks, Jacob.
Well, you are very welcome. All right. So, go ahead.
No, that'd be it. That's that was what I was looking for.
Yep. All right. So, at what time did you guys all want to gather back? So you have to be back at the Vanderborn place at around 6 tonight. So, what time do you guys want to meet?
Well, I plan on being back over here about noon. I think the paladin left here prior or after that.
Well, no, he was he was out in the morning, and he said he was going to be. It was right about 2:00 actually when he got done for the day, so he could be there by 2:30 easily enough.
Oh, that's fine. I'll just show back up over here around noon, and I'll eat.
Okay.
And wait.
All right, sweet. All right, so as we all picks up the cat for a snuggle, I love it. All right, as I was returning, as Marmot has so adequately described, as he uses the cat to wipe himself as a napkin, heading back to.
Unless the cat was like an important familiar, I was about
that would be kind of funny. All right. So, without further ado, we are going to fast forward ourselves to the Vanderboren Manor. Spelled it wrong, but close enough. Whoever spelt it on there. Close enough, though.
I did that.
Nope, that's fine. Yep, I like it. All right. Anybody have anything else that they want to do before we go to Lady Vanderboren? And actually officially kick ourselves.
Good to go.
All right.
I'm ready to go.
All right.
Ready.
You.
Oh, I missed the end.
What's that?
So I missed the end.
You missed the end. Yeah. Where am I? Oh my gosh, I'm losing myself here. There we go. I think. All right. I'm going to put everybody back where they're supposed to be. Take the goblin out of the tree. As you guys all meet from various places, eventually joining one another, you find yourself once again at the gates, or at least some of you once again find yourself at the gates of the Vanderboren Manor. You look around. For those that haven't seen, you can see that there's a 7-foot high curtain wall that runs, or containing wall that runs all the way around the house. There's a mini gatehouse here right at the front with large iron gates, swinging gates that clang together and could normally hold a lock of some sort, but now there is no lock, and you can see that the gate itself is standing open, inviting entry into the interior of the gardens on a walkway path that leads up to the front door.
Okay.
Being a grumpy dwarf I am, I'll lead the way in.
Being arrogant like I am, I'm staying in front.
Being the sneaky goblin I am, I will bring up the rear.
All right. No sooner than you guys get to the front door than the doors open, and standing there before you is Cora, the female halfling who delivered the original letter. As she looks at all of you, she sort of has her arms crossed over her chest. Her eyebrow raises slightly. I am glad to see that you have made it. Lady Vanderboren would have been most disappointed had you rejected her invitation. Come, follow me, please. She is currently engaged in other business. However, she has asked that you please wait for her in the inner sanctuary, in the atrium. Follow me, please. And she begins to lead you into the interior of the home.
Do I need to light a lantern? I can't
No.
see anything.
There should have been light for folks, but for some reason these walls aren't playing nice for me. So I am just going to
Go below.
Yeah, you should be able to just move through. I don't know why it shouldn't be stopping anybody, but I'm gonna move it. Just Gage, you have an issue moving? Is that what it was? Or who is having the issue? Sorry, I'm not looking at the names. I'm just moving. As again, she leads you guys into the house. She opens the 2 doors into the garden and leads you into the garden itself, and asks that you wait here as Lady Vanderboren is, as she said, engaged in business and will be here to retrieve you shortly. And she leaves and lets you guys kind of hang out here in the atrium in the house.
I motion for the goblin to come over. Looks like she's in that room. Can you get closer to that window and hear anything?
Maybe.
All right. Although you can see through, because it doesn't have a way to do opaque windows here, these windows are kind of opaque, so you can see that there are shapes in there, and she is talking with someone. You're not really sure who, but it doesn't really take. I mean, it isn't that long. That they're discussing whatever they're discussing. You are in the atrium for maybe 10 to 15 minutes tops, taking a seat on the bench, relaxing. Suddenly the doors open once again, and you can see now leaving the room where Lady Vanderborn is a quartet of individuals. They exit the building, or exit the room, like I said, that she was in. Sorry, I'm moving my maps around here. They exit the room that there's some sort of a meeting room or whatever they're there talking, and you can see all of them are equipped very much like you guys are. There's 4 individuals. The first one that you see is a male half-elf wearing leather type armor, and he has several daggers that are sort of stuck within his various belts. Coming after him is a dark-skinned dwarf who has this sort of a curved spear that he's using almost like a walking stick. He wears sort of green and brown robes. Following him is a rather attractive woman. She has a look sort of like the type of woman that looks down on, like sort of a rich aristocrat looking down on the little people. So she has that sort of an uppity look to her as she walks. She walks very elegantly and smoothly, and she's wearing these dark purple robes, and on one cheek she has this sort of a crescent moon sort of tattooed onto her cheek. And like I said, she kind of looks down her nose at you guys as she sort of walks. If you want to try to slip the pouch off her belt, then I'm going to need a sleight of hand and a stealth check, because it's in the water.
That was Gage who sat beside me.
Oh, okay. All right. You're going to try to pilfer Gage's? Is that what I'm hearing?
If there was something there.
Okay. Well, that's totally up to you if you want to give it a try. And last but not least, you can see that there is a tall, well-built, dark-haired guy wearing breastplate, has a bastard sword kind of swinging at his side. He sort of has this, like, I don't know, the chiseled cheekbones and the cleft chin as he walks, and he sort of, as all of them go to exit the doors just to your right, Edelbrock, as they all exit, the last guy, the guy in the breastplate, sort of stops, takes a step back, and looks over your group. Oh, you must be the help that Lavinia's bringing to do the chores that need to be done. Best of luck, my friends. Best of luck. You're going to need it. And he walks out, closing the door behind them as the four of them depart. And as they do, someone who can only be described as Lavinia Vanderborn steps to the door and says, "My friends, you have most graciously accepted my invitation. Please, please come in, come in." And she invites you all into the meeting hall, as what I'm going to call it.
Seeing that they walk so close to me, did they have any sort of like badges, emblems, or anything that was familiar
Give
to
me
me?
give me an investigation. And I'm going to say, give me an investigation with advantage. Okay.
Looks like it was a 10.
Yeah. So you did not see any badges or anything on them, but they looked familiar to you. You're not sure where you've seen or heard of them, but you've looked, you could almost guarantee you've seen or heard of them before. So, as you all are welcomed in, Lavinia asks you all to go ahead and have a seat wherever it is that you may be comfortable. As you look about the room, you can see there are several chairs with which you can sit down, comfortable chairs. Gage is still sitting on the bench over there, so I don't know if he even knows you're gone. And hanging up on the wall behind her, you can see a picture of a gentleman wearing very, not really regal, but very upper middle or upper echelon society type clothing. One of those sort of princely portraits where somebody's sitting there and they got their head cocked just so, and their hand over there, almost like Napoleon Bonaparte, sort of got his hand slid into his jacket. Sort of a very well-to-do fellow, young, sandy blonde hair, clean-shaven, very masculine-looking individual. And as she greets you all, she says, "I am so, so glad that you were able to join me this evening. Please, please sit. Cora, would you be a dear and please bring my friends some refreshment?" "Yes, well, I shall get it as soon as quickly as possible." As Cora departs, and you all find yourselves seated around the table. So, shall we get right to business then, shall we? As you may have heard, I recently inherited my parents' estate. And she sort of waves her arms. Along with this fine house, unfortunately came a fine amount of debt toward the Dawn Council and the Harbor Master, and might I add, quite a few guilds. It seems my parents, for all their successes as adventurers, were not quite as skilled at finance as one might expect. And if I'm to get these taxes paid, I need access to my family's vault under Castle Terracnian. And you all know that Castle Terracnian is literally a castle on an island in the middle of the harbor. And my friends, that is the problem, you see. The vaults are magically locked, keyed to a special signet ring. Both of my parents had these rings, at least until recently. My mother lost hers a few months ago. She arranged for a replacement, but it won't be done for another month or so, and that will be much too late for my good. Which leaves me my father's ring. He never wore it. He had a thing about men wearing jewelry. Can you imagine not wearing jewelry? But anyway, he kept it hidden somewhere on his ship, the Blue Nixie. The problem there is that the harbor master has seized the ship until someone pays the last 4 months' mooring fines. But I swear to you, on my father's life, I have paid the fines to the man the harbor master put in charge of my ship, a brute named Solar Vark. Yet when I went to claim my ship, Vark's men would not let me aboard, claiming I had not yet paid these fines. I spoke with Vark again. Sorry. I spoke with Vark again, and he denied ever receiving my payment. I'm telling you, 100 platinum coins does not just disappear off the ledger books and go nowhere. He has my money, I assure you. My complaints to the harbor master have fallen on deaf ears. A doddering old fool who trusts his man and won't relent. Vark and his men are up to something on my ship. I know it in my bones. What I need is to find out exactly what they are up to. Unfortunately, Vark's not the type to react well to diplomacy or logic, and I need someone who speaks his language, which is where you come in. If you can find out what he's using my ship for, or even better, recover the money I paid him, I shall pay each of you 200 gold coins in return once I have access to my family vault. And she sort of stops and looks around. I am sure you perhaps have questions or concerns. I will do my best to answer whatever it is that you may ask, giving you the floor to ask whatever it is you may need.
We know Solid Vark.
Give me a history.
We heard of him before.
Give me a history check, please. A DC 12 will get you something. A DC 17 will give you everything. You've heard of this guy Vark. You don't know any specifics, but you know that he typically works the docks. You've heard of various gangs that work the docks, not only as longshoremen, but as actual sailors and stuff, but a lot of them run in packs. But you've heard the name Vark before, but you just don't know, like, details on who specifically he is.
Okay.
Would I know with my Lotus Dragon contacts that name?
With your what?
Would I have heard that name with my dealings with the Lotus Dragons?
Well, that's why I was saying if you want to give me a check, you can definitely do so. Well, Elbrock, I would give you
just another human.
No, I would give you with advantage.
Oh, okay.
Not a 20. Oh, I thought it was a nat 20. So yeah, Edelbrock, you've heard the name as well. Morma, you actually know that you're not sure who he's working for, but you know that recently there's been a gang that has been using various ships for something. You're just not sure what. And this Vark fellow, if what your friends are saying is true, sounds like he may be apparently the leader of that gang, or at least heavily involved with the gang that's doing something with these ships. So there's definitely something shady going on. You just don't know details of what that may be.
Yeah, I guess I should have been a little bit more clear. I mainly wanted to know, is this name tied to the Lotus Dragons from what I've dealt with them?
No, not tied with the Lotus Dragons, but definitely not, at least not that you've heard, right? It's quite possible. It's quite possible because the Lotus Dragons, you know, are making a play to actually become like the people that run the show when it comes to the harbor, because he who controls the harbor in Sasserine controls everything. So it's quite possible that he's involved, but you just don't know 100% if that's him or not. So do you have any questions for Lavinia?
Morma would like to stand up in this chair,
okay,
and take his innocent eared paladin's hands and lift them up and put them to his own ears.
Okay.
and then turn to Lavina and do emphatic air quotes and say, "So you want us to check the integrity of your father's ship to see if there's any thievery going on, right?" And he'll
As
like do
she,
an air quote.
yeah, um, as she sort of glances over her shoulder and then looks up at the at the uh, at the picture hanging on the wall, she looks back. Well, they do say that sometimes a beast must be boxed in the ears for to get its attention. And so, if by that you mean I need someone willing to do the boxing, then she looks around again, almost like she's afraid the place is bugged. Yes, I want you to find out what these men are doing with my boat, and almost as importantly, find me my money that I paid them that they say I did not. I do not mind paying my share of tax and fines. This is fine. But I paid my fines and my debt. I deserve more.
So what cargo was on your ship?
I do not know. To my knowledge, there is nothing. It was an empty boat.
And have they sailed it out?
No, in fact, it's on the pier, right over on Pier 5, which is right over near the Merchants Guild and the Smiths Guild. There's some docks right there. I forget which way the numbers go, but it should be 4, 5, then 6. And 5 is the relatively long one that sticks right off of the piers, right near the Merchants Guild. You can't miss it. It's anchored, or it's tied up right there at the last slip.
Any news from the captain and crew? I mean, they must have worked for your family personally.
No, I have not heard. And apparently, this Solar Vark, his crew is now manning my father's vessel by order of the harbor master until we take the ship back ourselves, and then we can crew her with whomever we want.
So what sort of protections do we have if they meet an untimely end?
So, there's a reason why I am asking you. I would prefer to keep my fingers out of it. I do not know what protections I can afford other than my word that I will support you in whatever repercussions the City Watch or the Dawn Council may try to inflict upon any of us, for it is my ship. I paid my fines, and if I have to hire outside help to help me regain my father's rightful property, I guess now my rightful property, I am well within my right to do so. So I believe we have the protection of the law on our side.
Do you hold the deed?
We do not. The deed is held by the harbor master at Harbor House, and because it is no longer in our name, I cannot just go claim the ship legally. I have to pay my fines, which I have done, and I have tried to speak to the harbor master, but the harbor master, he is old and he is ill, and he will not concede to my requests, and so now I am forced to take these matters.
Understood.
Can you provide us a boat so that we can? And I'll turn and look at the paladin and make sure his ears are still covered.
He nods back at you.
To air quote inspect your boat, like, because I don't like to swim. I can't swim.
So I do not have. However, they're right there between. Actually, the Smithies Guild is on one islet, and the the other side is where the Merchants Guild is, and there is a waterway running between the two, and right there is a gondola station. I am sure that they have boats well equipped to bring you either through the waterways of town or to short passages out to the vessel. But you should not need a boat to go out there. It is at the end of the pier. I don't understand why you would need a boat to go to it when you can walk down the pier and walk up on the boat right there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was
That's
just
very
like moored out. in the
No,
harbor.
it's tied up on as a slip at the. There's a whatever the longest pier is. They call it Pier 5. It's like the longest one right there at the end, between the Merchants Guild and the Smithy Guild. And right there's a gondola station. Gondola stations are sprinkled throughout town. They provide literally gondolas if you want to go for a gondola ride. They don't do singing though, not like they do in Naples, but or Vienna. I mean, but you could take gondola rides. But they do have boats that if you were to need to go out into the harbor, you could use boats from the gondola place to go out there. Be that as it may, she had said that the Blue Nixie is actually tied up at the end at the last slip spot on Pier 5.
Okay, but we're not going to walk up the gangplank. That's
a group
where
of
they get shot with the
Bugs that have
crossbow.
taken it over.
You have a fancy house here. You cannot supply us with a dinghy that we can row out to the boat. in the
I do
middle of
not.
the night?
I do not have anything. We have ships, and the ships have their lifeboats on them. I have no need to have a dinghy of any sort. If I need
You have a coin pouch? Go buy one.
Well,
I
I
mean,
don't-
I'm sure I could find a dinghy.
But again, I don't understand why would you need a dinghy if the boat is tied up on the pier. I don't understand. I mean,
Because if you're going to go onto the ship that people have seized from you for nefarious methods, then they probably don't want you on the ship. So walking up the gangplank is probably going to end your life quickly.
well, this is what I have to say to that. If he sort of pauses for a second. To be honest, I would much rather you not throw the first punch, if possible, but I understand if you must. But why would Solar Vark and his men fight if they were not up to no good? It is my ship after all. I see no
would they
reason
take
why
from
this is what I don't understand. This is what I am saying. This is why I need you to go check and investigate what is going on with my ship.
Okay, we'll go onto the ship and we'll politely ask him about your 200 coins. We'll come back and tell you that he doesn't have it, and then you give us our 200 gold.
No, the
Mhm.
bargain is that I
So
get
let's sneak on the
I-
ship and find information.
how
We could
go ahead.
we could try both ways. Our stealth, or more stealthy members of the adventuring group could maybe swim in or row in, while the cleric and I go and walk right up to the plank and see if we can't get anyone to speak to us. And during that distraction, slip over the side and see what you can find.
I don't weigh much, but you could throw me.
We could throw you.
Good job.
Or probably wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, you could use a bath.
Or
I wouldn't be awesome. Good
you
at
know, like climb up one of the mooring ropes or something while you distract them or something like that.
Lavana, the ring that your mother ordered to replace,
Yes.
is there any way to expedite that?
Unfortunately, no, because it takes the crafters that much time to craft the proper material and infuse it with the proper magic so that it will work properly in the vaults. All of the biggest families for ever since the Castle Tarknian has been built have had their family vaults beneath the castle itself. And so it has always worked this way for as long as can be remembered.
Who is the crafter?
I would have to get who it was actually prescribed
Okay.
to.
Okay.
Lavon, I'm sorry to say this, but I've only recently become aware that your parents have passed, and I'm wondering if you could give me any details on that.
So, let me get. I think I actually have a.
This is
Something
Gage
s-
talking.
Yeah, yeah. I am looking up here specifically to see. You ask her that, and she sort of steps back a second and puts her hand over her chest. It's like you like punched her like in her heart,
Yeah.
and she sort of says that they burned to death on our ship about a month ago. We had recently purchased a new vessel, and as part of her maiden voyage, my mother and father, who had not ever taken time for themselves in the many years since they retired from the adventuring life, they decided that they were going to go on its maiden voyage with it. And they were going to first go up the coast to Gryrax, and then I believe they were going to go all the way up to Hardby, and then further along, and further. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the city where they were ending, and then they were going to make the return trip. But there were places that they wished to go that they had never seen before, and somehow something caught the ship on fire, and nobody survived. Nobody on the boat made it off, and my parents, just like that, were gone. Nobody can tell
Can
us.
I roll insight?
Sure. Nobody can tell us what happened or who did it or what it was, but one day they were here and
No.
next day we're not. And she is
No.
as truthful of a teller of tales as you have ever heard. You can definitely see she has emotion when she's speaking. She kind of walks, paces back and forth, turns once again and looks up at the portrait above the mantle, and then back as she continues to tell her tale.
Lavana, I'm not much of a sailor. Could you tell me, is there similarities between your boat and your parents' boat? Were they the same size?
Yes, all of our merchant vessels are around the same size, same carrying capacity. Father liked to keep things simple.
Do you happen to know like the guard schedule of the boat, your dad's boat?
I don't understand what you mean.
Well, like the harbor masters, people watching the boat.
No, that I do not. It was in the harbor when it caught fire and burned and sunk before it was able to make it out of the harbor. And all souls on board perished. 9 sailors and both my parents.
Were there any remains?
What remains could be found were very destroyed. So we pieced together what we could, and families got their respective pieces of their loved ones for burial in some way. So the walls themselves, Edelbrock, they're paneled walls. It's very finely decorated in here. The carpet itself, rich in its woven. The seats themselves are well-made wood with thick cushionings. The only tapestries or anything is the portrait of the fellow. The clean-cut fellow, or not clean-shaven, but he's got like a goatee type beard, very well kempt and whatnot. That picture painting above the mantle.
Now, if that was Varg, we would recognize him, right?
Yes, you definitely know it's not Varric, although the resemblance is there.
Where's her brother in all this?
I don't know. Could ask.
Yeah, I guess I'll trying to think the best way to word this. Would your brother know any more about the ship and its workings, having shadowed your father down at the docks?
As you ask that question, she sort of instinctively glances over her shoulder at the painting on the wall. Would that he had. I've not heard from my brother in weeks now. I have no idea where he is at or what he is doing. I have certainly have concerns about him. But I guess one problem at a time.
For weeks at a time?
My brother, it's not been weeks. It's been perhaps just after the funeral when the reading of my father's will occurred. My brother was, shall we say, upset that he was not getting anything from father, and he was to be working for me as the owner of the business now. And my brother was he's a bit hot-headed, and he was a bit perturbed. I agree, and so he went off on one of his little jaunts, and he has not been back, but he'll be back. I am sure of it.
Do you know why your father was cutting him out?
Why he was what? Well, I mean, father, I guess, had always assumed that I was going to take over the business. I must admit I was a little surprised that he did not give anything to Vanthus other than stewardship, a little bit of money in his pocket occasionally, but no business interests. So I do not know. I did not deal much in my father's personal affairs. I aided him with the business when I could. And believe me when I say I was almost as surprised as anybody to be the sole heir to the entire family estate. So then, do we have an agreement? You shall go to the Nixie. You shall find out one way or another what happened to my platinum and retrieve my boat for me. In return, I shall pay you a sum of 200 gold coins each.
About 300.
Give me a persuasion check.
I'm going to use my advantage.
Okay. All right. She looks and she sort of gives a slight frown. I can assure you, Master Dwarf, that the funds in the family are already stretched a little bit thin until I can get access to my father's ship, the Blue Nixie.
That and the return
However,
of the money that you looking for.
Yes, but that money is going to turn right around and go back to the harbor master to pay those fines. So that money is already spent. However,
Why
If-
give the money back to the harbor master who's already robbed you?
it wasn't he, I believe, that has robbed me. I believe it is these men doing something nefarious with my ship. The harbor master puts his full faith and trust in these individuals, and for that he is grossly mistaken and should be replaced in his duties were he not elected into that spot year after year after year. But that's another matter of politics. I will say, if you can find my money and get me my ship back, I will agree to your terms of 300 gold. However, if either of those two stipulations are not met, the original agreement of 200 gold stands. Is that agreed, Master Dwarf?
That is agreed with me.
As she looks to the rest of you, and to you, short one behind the mask.
Yes, 200 is nice. It's a lot of free rooftops.
And for the rest of you, are we all in agreement then?
And
I'm agreed.
Okay. So the agreement is 300 gold if you get the ship and find her money. 200 gold if you just find the money or the ship. And at that, with the bargain struck, that, gents, is where we are going to end tonight's session. As
Right.
session 1 of Savage Tide has ended. And I appreciate you guys. I know, again, it was a little slow, but hopefully it's starting to pick up. And we're getting at least a little bit knowledge behind us. But for those that know, you know that at the end of every stream, what I like to do is go right off into somebody else's world and spread the love. Hopefully, you will hang around until we pick who we are going to go raid. In the meantime, first of all, don't forget, if you like Greyhawk, we will be back Monday. Knock on wood. Had issues last week, couldn't play. But we will be back Monday with our Age of Worms campaign, which is just getting ready to delve down into the mines of the Dowerstone mines in Diamond Lake to figure out what the hell's going on underneath that mining town. If you don't know Age of Worms, come check us out. It is a great campaign so far. You can catch up on the VODs. Put them on 2-speed. It's kind of funny to listen to everybody talk like Mickey Mouse. But go to YouTube / Agora Quest Games. You can see us and see all the VODs and stuff there and get caught up. Do a weekend binge. Come check us out. This game is back on our original schedule, so that means no game next week, but a game after that, which kind of works good because our new rogue has to go stealthily into the night somewhere else next week, so he can't be here anyway. So it actually works out really good. But I appreciate it, players. Hopefully it's something that you're going to continue, and I promise it'll get better as combat comes. Tonight we were actually donated a pair of Nat 20s. So Edelbrock and Hakon, you both got Nat 20s, and Corvus from our previous campaign, Nilo, popped in and dropped a Nat 1 on me because of the comedy gold that you guys have been dropping. It's actually been really good. I like it. That's all I ask is you stay engaged and you play your characters how you think your character should be played. I don't care about voices and all that stuff. I just want engagement, because I think
Dwarf's
that's
got to be a little greedy.
That's heck yeah, man.
Heck yeah.
But that, to me, that's what makes it fun. So I appreciate you guys coming tonight. Like I said, hopefully you'll be back next week, and I mean not next week, but the week after. By then, I will have your cantrips thing fixed. It pisses me off that I pushed a bug to production. What the hell, you idiot! But anyway, we're gonna figure out
Lucky
who we
we
want
quit
to.
here because I was about to commit the dwarf to.
You're gonna commit him to what?
100
No,
Yeah,
I don't work so cheaply.
yeah, I looked it up. It's apparently any caster can cast ritual spells.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
That's kind of weird.
I don't know if it's a 2024 thing or not, but
Yeah, it probably is because warlocks are probably whining that they can't cast spells. But I mean, cast it as a ritual is that's 10 minutes, right? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna sit here and wait 10 minutes, and I'm gonna cast Eldritch Blast. No, I'm just kidding.
I know
So.
the only spells I have as rituals is detect magic and identify.
Okay, well, see, then I am perfectly fine with that. I am perfectly fine.
Yeah,
with
ritual
that.
magic doesn't do anything that's damaging as much. It's just utility.
Right. So anyway,
Yeah, you're fine familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I hopefully they're not closing up shop on us, but we're going to bounce over to Charm Fantasy. They got a D&D game going on. They're on their episode 254. So we're going to bounce over to them. Hopefully you guys will hang with long enough for me to raid into them. I just have to go into my raid thing. I don't even know how many people we're going to have go with us, but I am going to go and where are they? They are. So we're going to bounce over to Charm Fantasy. Hopefully you guys will stay with us just so that we can go over to say hi. Give them a like, give them a follow, let them know where they came from or where you came from so we can spread the love. And I think that's just about it. But remember, in a world you can be anything that you want to be. All we ask is that you be kind. We will see you next time. Peace.
All right. Good night, guys.
All right, man. We will see you next
Night.
time.
Night, guys.